Check one, check one, check one. Good evening, everyone. Good evening there in Liverpool land again. It's LFC Reds Forever once again tonight. Your host Nilante. I'm here with my good old buddies on the panels. Busy, but I'm here with Lee. Lee, how you doing today, my friend?
Excellent, excellent. As we were saying, one more step towards the ultimate prize, the one that we all crave, the one that we've all been waiting so long for, this 20th title. So yeah, it's been a great weekend, hasn't it, for Liverpool? Yeah,
No, we had.
yeah. I
Mhm.
have. Sorry, I have sort of put all that other stuff to bed now. The cup, the Europe. You know what I mean? It's gone now. It's
Mhm.
gone. It'll come back next season. We've got next season to make that good, haven't we?
No, not 100%, Lee. Fair enough, fair enough. And also, guys, yeah, if any of you want to come on, I will be sending the link. So if you want to come on, chat, say your piece, please. Like it's a free, however you feel, whether you're good, bad, just whatever you feel about the club, FSG, whatever is on your mind. I will put the link in the next couple of minutes. So you feel free to come on. Don't be shy. But yeah, we'll start. We'll start off on today's games, Lee. Obviously, big up the Irishman, big up 12th man, or 12th man. Obviously, he's on earlier. Lee, what? Because obviously, there's a lot been talk. I said my piece on 12th man. So with you, what was your take of the game itself in your own words, Lee? The 2-1 win. What was your take on the 90 minutes plus minutes?
Um, that we were trying to coast home towards the end, and it nearly undid us. Thankfully, Virgil was able to step up and get that header, but we were trying to coast it, weren't we? It looked like, which, was okay. I mean, yes, you are winning the game, and that's all you've got to do. You only have to win by one goal. But if you're only 1-0 up in the game, it doesn't matter whether you're home or away. This is the Premier League. Anybody can score against you. Even Southampton can score against you. And West Ham's certainly got it, I've got players that can cause you problems, haven't they? So I think, yeah, we took our foot off the gas a little too far for a while. We were able to just about turn it round, but we did take our foot off the gas a little bit too much for my liking in the second half. So, but you live and learn, don't you? The players will live and learn, and you'll live and learn from that. Like, they'll know that you can't really be doing that in the Premier League. Try and coast home. Sometimes you can do it. You can sense when a game's got no more goals in it. But this one always felt like it might have had an equaliser in it during the second half. So I was a little bit worried. And then when it actually went in, I was a lot more worried.
No, 100%, Lee. 100%. I mean, how was the first 45 minutes for you in the first half? Did you see an improvement, or was it just the fact that you still after effects of basically the last recent performances of the team?
We weren't at our best. I mean, it's fair to say that. But there were players doing good things. We didn't play badly. It's just it wasn't one of our better performances. I thought we might have turned on the style a little bit today with it being West Ham at home, and we do have a good home record against West Ham. But you look at their team 1 to 11, and it's a pretty decent size, isn't it? I'm not that keen on Mavropanos. He's 1 weak link that I'm not keen on.
Mhm.
He looked bad like in the away game, didn't he? But apart from that, like, they're all good players. They're all decent players, aren't they? Their midfield's good, their attack's good. You could maybe do with a signing or so in defence, like, but there's a decent side. And what I'd say they're probably about mid-table West Ham. If the season started again now, like, I'd be looking at Potter to get them in around, the middle of the table, like somewhere, maybe somewhere from like, around 10 to 12th, those sort of positions. Like, if the season started again under Potter, but he'll have players, he'll buy him players, I'm sure of that. Like, and he probably will want defenders. Like I would if I was him, if that was my job. Like, that's where I'd be looking to strengthen if I was West Ham. But like I said, they've got good attacking players. They've got Kudus, they've got Paqueta, and they've got Bowen, which is a good attacking threesome. It's a really good attacking threesome. All three players are dangerous. And then in midfield, we've got decent players. West Ham always have a decent midfield. It's one of the things with West Ham, they always tend to play the ball and that, like, you know, they like to play the ball. But they could be better in defence, I think, next season, West Ham. So yeah, I was hoping maybe we were going to turn on the style a little bit today in the first half and just throughout the game. But I was hoping we'd maybe knock a few goals in today. But we done what was needed of us anyway. We done the job. We done what was required of us. Can't say no more than that, can you?
No, fair enough, Lee. I mean, I think what it is, I think this for the last month or so, month and a half. Actually, while I do that, I'm gonna put the link in. Spare me. Yeah, guys. So the link's in the chat for any of you watching. Yeah, if you want, please come on and give us your views. Don't be shy. Don't bite. We don't bite over here. We don't bite. All right. So yeah, let's feel free. Listen, we're here. Me and Lee, we're just here. We're here about, you know, it's all about expressing your views. Floor is yours, and we'll speak up. But sure. Big up, Steve. It's been a hot minute. How you doing, Steve? Let's go, champ. Let's go, champs. Let's go, champs. The words of Shannon Briggs. So big up yourself, Steve. Okay, but yeah, right, Lee, in terms, we'll start. Does it start a lineup, Lee? I mean, was that a lineup you were more than happy with? Were there any surprises, or was it just here we go? And
Well,
my second question, Lee. Sorry, Lee. Part of the start after the starting lineup, you answered that. My second question: were you shocked in terms of the omission from Darwin? Also,
a little bit with Darwin. I was pleased that he did actually make a couple of changes that I wasn't maybe expecting, because I said I wanted Jones to play in that position instead of Dom today, and he did that. I said, you know, bring Jones out from right back, stick him in midfield. I wanted Costas to start. He did start, so I was pleased that he at least done that. Maybe would have liked to have seen a couple of other players, but you know, you can't have everything, can you? At least he did make a couple of changes today to the starting 11. And I think it was, you know, it's something he needs to have done a little bit more. You know, a lot of people are saying, why haven't we seen more of Endo or Chiesa? So, you know, yeah, there are players that still like to see a bit more until the end of the season. But I'm glad that he did at least make changes today. Because he said after the Fulham game, oh, it's not fatigue. But no, I beg to differ there. I think a lot of fans do, in that, like, Dom's run out of gas. Robbo's been overused. And I'm only talking like 10, 15 minutes here and there more for players like Tsimikas, and it would possibly make the difference to Robbo's legs. I mean, he's never going to stop playing international football, Robbo. He's a massive player for Scotland. He's the captain. He's sort of like a big fish in a small pond there. He's like one of their star names, you know what I mean? Even though he's only a left back, like, he's one of Scotland's big names and he's the captain. So he's not going to give up play. And I wouldn't expect the lad to either. I wouldn't expect him to give up playing international football. So we've got to manage him in what we've got left of his career. I'd like next season maybe to have a left back that he is okay with, not just starting, but, you know, playing whole games and maybe a few games in a row. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, Robbo's legs could be preserved a bit more, because he's still got it in him, Robbo. It's just using him too much. I think it'll be the end of him sooner rather than later if we use him too much next season. So I'd like to see that change next season. As for Dom, I feel a little bit sorry for him because he didn't get an awful lot of credit early in the season. Ryan and Alexis got all the credit in midfield, but I thought he was playing well even when he wasn't getting assists or scoring. And then he started getting assists and scoring, and he looked the business, didn't he? He looked the real deal in that position. But he faded then, didn't he? He's run out of gas. The guy does look shattered. There's no denying that. So I just hope in the summer we can make the right signings so that we don't run out of gas in April next season, because, next season we probably won't have the luxury of if we are in front at all, you know what I mean? If we're top of the league at all this time next season, it won't be by the margin we are now. So we're going to have to adjust the squad and cut down on some of the main players' minutes. I'd like to see a player brought into the squad that would allow us to rest Virgil every now and then. So
yeah,
because the man just never gets a rest, does he? And
no,
and it'll take its toll eventually. Virgil's another one. He likes playing for his national team. He's the captain too, like Robbo. And we're going to have to manage him, I think, going forward to get the best out of him. So I would like to see somebody brought in, maybe that would give us the option of resting him sometimes.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think what it is, Lee, I think early in the season, we had chances because obviously Joey, Kwanzaa, but again, the problem is Arne, he didn't trust, Gerald, and he had the shaky bits. He didn't want to charge with Joey. I think I'm sure he picked up a nickel, if I'm right, but it wasn't long term. Then he kind of played him ish, and then the Ibu situation is, and he could have had chances, but he just hasn't. And then we had little injuries, defenders at the wrong times. But yeah, I think VVD does deserve. Yeah, I think he does need a rest. But with the lineup, Lee, were you happy with that? What lineup did you want to go with? What was your lineup in your head? And the lineup and my second question, you to Lee, the lineup that he did start, were you satisfied with that also? If it wasn't the lineup you originally wanted,
more or less the side. That I would have picked. Probably would have changed one of the forwards. I probably would have changed one of the forwards, which would have been. It probably would have been Diaz, even though he opened the score, and it probably would have been in there as a change for Gakpo if it was me picking, just to get Cozy starting games and back up to speed. But saying that, without Diaz, we wouldn't have got that first goal. I mean, maybe if Cozy played instead, he'd have been in the same position. More than likely, he would have. To finish it off. But yeah, it was more or less the team that I wanted them to pick. I wanted Robbo to get a rest. I wanted Don to get a rest. I've give up now on like saying, want Endo to start, because I know the man's just not going to do it. He's just not going to start Endo, so it's pointless me saying that I want him to start when it's not going to happen. Chiesa is another one. I don't really see why he hasn't started games or been given, because like you guys have been saying, haven't you, about Jota's recent goal record not being the best. So why? Yeah. A few of us have thought this, haven't we? Why can't he play through the middle? And we know he can. We know he can play that position. So I think a few of us would like to see him. I think it'd stretch opponents a little bit more as well, wouldn't it? To have that sort of attacker centrally, where if you had Diaz and Salah, bursting in from wide, it sounds quite good to me. That's something I'd like to see.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely. There's a lot of stuff, but let me go because there's something that Steve I wanted to reiterate. Big up Steve for that comment. And this comment, Nunes was not dropped, he was ill. And this is an interesting one, because this is something we discussed on 12th Man. Big up Liverpool 12th Man. Go like, share, subscribe. And again, guys, don't be shy. The links in the chat. If you want to come on, discuss with me and Lise, have your thoughts, please feel free. The links in the chat. But yeah, this, like, again, this is your opinion, Steve. Obviously Nunes was dropped, he was ill. But in my opinion, and again, before you answer this, Lee, in my opinion, he wasn't. I think, Slot said he was illness, but I think Slot, and again, what I'll say, managers can hoodwink you. They will all tell that porky little lies or deflect. And on the bench, when there's cameras, that wasn't a man that looked ill. That was a man that I think Slot has just, I mean, we kind of already knew he was going to go. He's just kind of made it pretty obvious is that he's gone, he's on his way out. It probably won't be used for the rest of the season, or maybe it will, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there's more to me tonight. And we all know all managers don't tell the truth. they will kind of swerve things, you know, just to protect the club and from the media, certain things being leaked out. But hey, what's your opinion on that? From Steve in terms about Nunes, was he, you know, the illness or non-illness? I mean, what's your opinion on that? What Slot said in the press conference about Darwin? Because to be fairly, I mean, he has been pretty blunt with Darwin, and obviously, I remember the Villa game, obviously, which fair enough. But my thing is, if you're gonna say that, you got to keep the energy with all players. But and at times, Nunes, he's kind of checked out, but you know, like I said, what I'll say with Darwin is like, you know, as much as like, as you know, Lee, I've said it many times. When he first linked with him, I didn't want him at the club. I was never a big fan, and he came, but and he's had some good games. He's had some decent-ish numbers the first 2 seasons, but he just hasn't been the one that we, you know, like the level strikers, the Mbappe's, you know, the even the Isaacs, the Haalands, you know, that the 20+ goals that we need, you know, especially in the league. And I think this season he's had poor games, but I don't think he's got that run of like 3 games in the league in a row. Or again, you know, Lee, for my instance, Southampton, he had a shocking first half. He's lucky to start the second. And after that, he scored the goal and he got the penalty and then he's taken off. And he's been stop starting. I don't think that helps the momentum of a player, you know? So it doesn't help. But I think they might have had a falling out. Again, I could be wrong, but yeah, what's your whole opinion on the whole Nunes scenario and whether he was ill or not, Lee?
It's a tough one, isn't it, to know what the truth is here.
Yeah,
You hope for Darwin's sake that he'll still feature before the end. Because what I really enjoyed about the derby, one of the best bits of the derby was him pumping the crowd up, like made me laugh when he come on. You know, he knew it was a derby and a big game and that, like, and so he's still got the passion for, you know, to do his business for the badge. I think we all know it hasn't worked with him as a, you know, as a front man, like as a leading sort of like, you know, established centre forward and our goal scorer, our primary goal scorer. The move hasn't panned out, but he has given us all. We've always said that about him, or I have anyway, that he is a wholehearted trier. And he does give us all. And sometimes you can't blame players for becoming a little bit disaffected if they know they're not valued and they're moving on. But I just hope we do see him still before the end of the season. I hope this isn't, you know, I hope we haven't seen him for the last time. I don't think we will have. Like, I think we will see him again this season. But there are, you know, only a few games left now. Like, we got a few games left, haven't we? So. And with like Jota returning and being Slot's number 1 pick, you know, if Jota, Diaz and Salah score, Gakpo's always the most likely to come off the bench if he's fit. And then, you know, we've also got Chiesa, haven't we? So we have got options, haven't we? I hope we've still got 6 options next season, whoever the players are. Whoever comes or goes, because I like this thing of having 6 options. You do need 2 players for every position, and 6 attackers means you've got 2 for every. When you're playing with a front 3, it means you've got 2 for every position, and done it with 6. Because before this season, before we bought Chiesa, the most we ever had was 5. It was always 5 attackers, wasn't it? It used to be, you know, we had Mane, Salah, and Firmino, and then also had Origi, and who else did we have?
Shaq. Little Shaqiri.
Yeah, Shaq was the fifth member.
And then there'll be a youngster from the squad, whether it's Wright, Kent, or whoever.
Yeah, so the addition of Chiesa to give us 6 forwards to choose from really pleased me, like, and it's a shame we haven't seen more of them.
No, 100%. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think we'll get into that in a moment. I'll just go through some of the comments here. Steve, Robo, man of the match. Get out of here, Steve. Okay, we shot to do this right. Steve said he's shocked Arne brought on Q. So that's Kwanzaa. He don't rate him and Chiesa. Yeah, no, I hear you. But I think what it was is the fact that Sorry, I think it's the fact that Bradley's just come back from injury, and then Slot, he, obviously understandably, because I was fuming when Bradley came off, but again, I get it because Bradley's just come back, and you don't want to overdo it with him, so get it. Okay, thinks Robbo should have been sold. Oh, I think that's a bit harsh, Steve. Not then. Keeping Robbo at left back, might as well bring Alan Kennedy. Oh God, I think you're being a bit too harsh there, Steve. Alan Kennedy, nah. I don't think Robbo's finished, but I think this season he kind of showed that he needs to be squad player from next season. So I will say that.
Yeah, I feel he's still got it in him to play well for us, but not
Yeah,
as often. He just cannot play as often anymore. The Klopp years took their wear and
yeah,
tear. And for me, I'd like to see him as the number 2, as the relief for a new left back. Say the relief for Kirkaz. Let's say I'd like to see him as Kirkaz as relief next season. So we'll be looking at him playing more like 10 to 15 league games rather than 35 or something.
yeah. I think that's something that's gonna go on. So we'll see. Steve says here, if Arnie wants to compete in all fronts, his squad needs major surgery. 8-9 players out, 7 or 8 in. But this ain't happening under cheap book FSG. Just accept FSG will move out 8-9 players in for Steve. We know your thoughts on FSG. I don't think it'll be that many, but so Arnie's telling Porky's why Nunez was not in the squad. Well, Steve, to be fair, yeah, I mean, me personally, I mean, he's deflecting, and I think he won't be the first. I mean, would you really? He won't be the first, and he won't be the last manager that deflects certain things. Because not all managers will just tell you that they're bust up or he's never going to come out and say he's out of the squad because he's not part of my plans, But we'll wait and see what happens later during the season. Right. Big up Noah Hyde 2072. Hope you're doing well, my guy. He says Steve Nicholson has already criticised Slot Brandon football as not the Liverpool way. FSG is good at the BS in us. Klopp makes average players like Endo, Darwin, and Konzo work. To extent, okay. Steve says Nunes deals have been sold to Saudi clubs this summer. Deals in principle agreed. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see that if that happens. Steve. Diaz. Let's see. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, if you lads were DOF, okay, football director. Okay, directors of football. What positions would you strengthen this summer for Arnie your starting 11? And all right, I'll just put down pause, Steve, and I'll get back to you on that. So that's fine. That's fine. Right. So when Arnie said he's happy with the size of his squad, was he telling Porkies? Who knows, Steve? Who knows? Look, managers will always kind of deflect a little bit because you remember in when was it? 2014. It was. Yes, 2014. After we had our, unfortunately our challenge, we didn't win it, when we should have. Do you remember Brendan Rodgers at press conference? And I think it was a preseason game. Loic Remy, who we meant to get, and unfortunately the medical failed due to, I think, was it heart failure or some conditions? Can't remember injury problems, but then after that, we linked with Balotelli. And what did Brendan say? He said, "Oh no, we're not getting Mario. No, he's not part of my plans." And what happened? A week later and a half, Mario Balotelli came, and yeah, he was a disaster. I mean, you remember that, Lee?
Yeah.
Balotelli and the one penalty, and yeah, he was a disaster. I think
They
I remember.
don't always tell the truth, do they? They have to sort of dress things up a bit sometimes, managers.
Yeah.
But we don't know about Nunes. We don't know that it isn't true that he was ill because remember when we went to PSV, he was in the squad, and then he caught something, he ate something or whatever. It was like a quick one of those, 2-day bugs or something. But Jay Downs had to play because Núñez was originally scheduled to start that game, I believe. And then he was actually ill. He had some sort of tummy bug. And Jay Downs got the nod. So it could be true that he was ill. Yeah, we just have to wait out and see. Wait and see that one.
Yeah.
But it has been true before, like you said, in Eindhoven when we went to Eindhoven, he was meant to start the match. Apparently, and then got sick. Tummy bug or something like, and had to miss the game. So it does happen with players occasionally. They are just sick for a couple of days, like sort of like dehydrates them and all that, knocks their body offline because they are like, elite athletes, footballers, and they take much to put them off their game, illness-wise. So these things can happen.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Again, guys, big up everyone of you in the chat. Like I said, all of you, big yourselves up. Please feel free. The link is in the description there. Again, if you do want to come on, feel free. Me and Lee here. And I know you guys ain't shy. God damn it. You're not shy, any of you. You're not shy. Come on board. But we'll keep pushing, go through the comments here. No, Hi17 said Slot via media right in the beginning of the season before a match is played said Slots don't trust Darwin or Endo. FHG instructs Slot not to play them too much for fear of injury. Sick owners. I'll disagree with you that. You know why? Because FSG don't have the right to tell the manager who and who not what he can play. That for me, that's just a manager's decision, So I'll disagree with that. I don't think he's the right to play for whatever reason. Again, I don't know. It's just by the fathom. There's nothing in the contract saying that they don't have to play. He just doesn't rate them, and we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that. Actually, before we go, we'll bring up Steve's comment. Actually, Lee. So, if we were the director of football, what positions would you strengthen this summer, Arnie, for your starting 11? How about you, Lee?
Well,
what areas? If you were the director of a footballer,
all three: defence, midfield, and attack. Because we're going to be, when I say strengthen, I mean we're only going to be replacing Núñez if he leaves. So it's not really strengthening; you're just keeping at the same strength, aren't you? By replacing Núñez. As for midfield, we definitely need players. He doesn't trust Endo. He doesn't seem to trust Harvey Elliott. I hope I'm wrong and that he hasn't made his mind up definitively, say, on Elliott, and that there could still be a future for him, but he's just hardly features. And it's been a bit of a worry for me. I think Bajcetic might well come back into the squad because he won't cost a fee. Obviously, it'll add numbers to the squad without us having to spend money, because I'm not all that confident we're going to have a bundle of money to spend. But we'd be bringing money in for players. If Núñez leaves, we'll get money for him. We won't get much for Endo, but he didn't cost much. Harvey, I see Steve's put Newcastle have interest in him. Well, that could be a move for him, like the Núñez and Diaz ones to Saudi. Got a lot of money in Saudi, got a lot of money in Newcastle because of Saudi. A lot of Saudi money around. So that could be a destination for Harvey. I see Steve's put in there about Quansah and Gomez, them having interest in them. I wouldn't understand really selling Quansah as a young player after bringing him in and developing him this far. I'm not sure why we turn around now and sell him. What I will say about centre-half is it is one of them positions where you usually have two main centre-halves and they play the majority of the minutes, don't they? it's one of them positions more than most others on the pitch where you don't get a lot of rotation. So I'm not. I don't know why we do that, but maybe we will. You just don't know. We're all surmising this because of the lack of minutes a lot of these lads have got. I think Kelleher needs to move on for his career and probably wants to. Well, he probably wants to move on. And again, I won't begrudge him that. Like I don't begrudge Trent wanting to go to Real Madrid. I won't begrudge Kelleher wanting to move on for his career because he's too good to be a number 2. Yeah, I don't know about Joe. They were interested in Joe after the Euros when he got his Euro place back at the end of last season.
He had a good season. Yeah, great season last season.
So yeah, that they could resurrect their interest in Joe, but they'll have to pay what we want for him.
No, 100%. Is there any plays in particular, if as Steve's question, that you want us to buy? Anyone particularly, or players?
Who's a like at centre back? I've had a fancy for us having a left-footed centre back for a while now. Just to give us that balance, it does give you that wonderful balance in that position when you have a left-footed centre-back as well. And okay, Virgil plays that side, but that's what I'm saying about Virgil next season. So I don't want to see him overplayed in the remainder of his career. I'd love us to be able to rest him for some Premier League games and still be confident we can go out and beat a side. But he is so much of our team. Like so much of our team is Virgil van Dijk, because it all starts from the back. You know, team's built on its defence, and at times he is our defence. But I don't know, a left-footed. Hato's been linked with us, hasn't he? We've been linked with other left-footers like Hincapi, Inacio. Who else is there? Pau Torres is all right. I quite like Pau Torres, but he costs an arm and a leg. Pau Torres off Villa.
Yeah, he's at Villa now. Yeah.
He cost a lot of money, I think. But I would like a left-footed centre-back just to give us that balance, that equilibrium, to be able to have a left-footed centre-half sometimes. And I don't mean, I'm not bothered like if it's a left centre-half who can play left-back. I just want a left-footed centre-half. I think it'd be nice. And a left-back. I'd like both play. You know, I'd like to buy both. A new left-back, such as Kirk or whoever, or Anthony Robinson, and a left-footed centre-back. Just give us that balance, because if you look at Pep's squad over the years, he's always had more than one left-footed centre-back. He'll have like 6 centre-halves, and two or either 3 of them will be left-footed. Like you've got Ake, Laporte, who's the other one they've got now as well. They've got 2 now. Gvardiol. They've got Ake, Gvardiol. They've had Laporte. They always have left-footed centre-halves, and more than one. And it does give you good balance. It gives you really nice balance if you're a team that likes to keep possession, and play out from the back, etc.
Right.
Just give that really nice balance. It's not essential because Virgil's like supreme in that position, and he ain't even left-footed. But it's nice. It's nice. Not essential, but it's nice sometimes to be able to have that balance.
No, I hear that, Lee. I hear you in that. For me, Steve, I mean, I like Hato. I'll go get him. I think he's a non-brainer. I think he will be a world-class defender in the future. He can cover left, centre back. So I'll just get him for that. And then you get I guess you get a Kirkes. I would do. So that will cover 2 areas, in a different. And then midfield, I would get Baleba from Brighton. I think Baleba's, again, young, quality. If we can't get a Baleba, let's go with Real Madrid, because then they're going to do something. Let's go for Tchouaméni or Camavinga. Those would be one of the 3. Or I like Alex Moreno from Betis, from Real Betis. I think he's, someone to be talked about, to be getting as a DM, because I don't feel with that. Because I think Eder will go, and then we can have someone that can sit there while, Grav, he's been brilliant and kind of stuff. In terms of up front, you know what? I'll get Kudus. And today's game, I mean, I think he's West Ham's best player today. Kudus, I've been wanting from the time. He'll be perfect for our team. Kudus, go get him. Give me a Kudus, and then just get me an Isak. Simple as. Give me Isak and Martinez. Job done. Simple as. That's what I would like, but we're not going to go that far. They won't get any of my suggestions, but
I mean,
we'll see.
I just hope he is given a reasonable budget to put alongside the money that comes in for sales. You know, if they only give him
Right.
the money that he gets from selling players, I'd be pissed off. There has to be a bit of a wedge alongside that, doesn't there? Because you
Yeah.
can't, you know, it's an expensive business these days building a squad, and you
No.
know, you can't do it on the cheap. You can't build a good squad on the cheap, can you? You do have to spend the money. And, you know, with us not spending last summer, not spending in January, okay, we bought Mamardashvili and Chiesa. It wasn't a lot of money, was it? And then we spent nothing in January. So you would imagine there is money there to spend. You know, I'd want to know why if there isn't. Because you look at clubs like, you know, below us in the table and that, like, and I mean, you look at the Klopp years, when you see what Klopp spent in his time at Liverpool and then compare it to all the other Premier League clubs, everybody outspent us. Arsenal outspent us, and they weren't even in the Champions League for the first, 5 years the Klopp was here. They were missing from the Champions League for 5 years, weren't they? And they managed to outspend us. And then there's I think even bloody Everton outspent us some seasons.
Yeah, they did for a little while. Yeah.
They were very lucky at PSG, weren't they, that they picked Klopp, and he was literally able to turn water into wine, wasn't he? Like, you know what I mean? He was like magic man, wasn't he? Like, but you can't go on doing that. They can't expect that of Slot. I don't think it's unfair to expect him to be exactly like Klopp. You know, you've got to give the guy some money, surely. I'm not asking a lot. I don't think Liverpool, as a fan base, us as a fan base, we tend to generally ask too much. We don't expect us to go out and buy the world's most expensive, top-notch players that everybody wants. You know, we expect us to buy good players, but, you know, we don't expect the earth, I don't think, as a fan base. So I'd like them to meet us halfway this summer. To meet the fan base halfway. Something to show.
50-50 relationship, but will they do it? It remains to be seen. But that's fair enough, Lee. Right, I'll go through some more of these comments. So about you guys. Why are you guys acting shy, man? Jump on, man. Come on, guys, jump on. Come on the stream and give us your opinion. Because I know you guys all got a lot to say. But that's all good. Steve says, in his opinion, Gomez, Robbo, Simicas, Endo, Elliott, Diaz, Nunes, Jota, defo being sold by Arne. FSG Hughes this summer will remain to be seen. I think some of those names will go, Steve, but will remain to be seen. Big up Realism Jared, always giving support and love. Like, share, subscribe. Yep, as he said it there, please, guys, do. Because believe me, once we get this title win, ladies and gentlemen, believe me, I will be on camera. My face will be on camera, and you'll be seeing my face a lot from the end of May onwards. Believe me, you'll be seeing my face. I tell you that. Okay, Noah High says it's all about money. They pay certain fans' channel and even Sky Sports commentators to smear Darwin. Henry has a history of doing this, so the players are blamed instead of the owners. Oh, wow. Is it so? Nohad, when you say that, is it something he's done previously with players in the Boston Red Sox? That's an interesting one. In terms of paying commentators to smear Darwin, I don't know. I don't think so. That'd be just I mean, I think the percentage they've got their own opinion, and look what Carragher's got into recently, and Neville. I wouldn't go that far because I think they all have their opinions, and again, because they're ex-footballers, they're never going to get everything right. Because someone from Liverpool spoke at this, and someone from Arsenal. So I do think that because it's no point them being on the show to not having their own opinion, you know. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. All right, I hear you.
Oh yeah, I would like to say that to Steve's last comment about
Yeah, go
if
for it.
FSG would have put this or that in. I'm telling you now, if FSG would have put in that type of money every summer, what you put down there, I don't think
Right.
Guardiola would have got a sniff. If Klopp was able to spend anywhere near what Guardiola spent, I don't think Guardiola would have got a sniff of the Premier League. He might have won one, possibly, but there's no way he'd have 6, because 5 of them had belonged to Jurgen. I think if Jurgen had been able to spend either the same or somewhere near what he spent, then it's a different ball game entirely. If Klopp was able to have his number one choice every summer and be fresh every summer, then I don't think there'd have been a lot of air for Guardiola trophy-wise, because I think Klopp would have been too much for him. He was only able to outdo him by having a much bigger squad, wasn't he? And also getting a lot of favourable decisions from people like Paul Tierney at Goodison Park, Rodri's non-handball. This number 20 can't come soon enough, because it's been like we won 19 in 2020, didn't we, in the 1920 season, and now it's took like 5 years on it to get here to 20. And that's just took way too long. You know, we've been close, haven't we? Like, but it's got to happen. It's got to happen. I've been desperate for it to happen. But just a round, it's a nice round figure, 20. You know what I mean? It's lovely and round. But there you go. Hey, some teams have got a nice round figure as well as league titles, in none.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that, Lee, during this version of the show. I'll keep on with the comments. Steve says Robbo made more assists for the opposition sides against LFC than any other player. Oh dear, that's a bit damning. So when Arnie said he's happy with the size of the squad, was he telling Porkies? I don't know. I think maybe he was just content, but managers always want to improve. But you know, I think he's just content for the time being. But yeah, maybe he's again. Managers, Steve, I think you know this. They deflect. Not everything they say is the gospel truth. You know, they will say things just to cover up how they're feeling. But you know, but there you go. Probably to a certain extent. But you know, if they could, they would. But there you go. Steve says my dream results. Next 3 games, lost 1. Oh, it's where you got Lee? Hey, where you gone? There you go, Lee. You back in?
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Don't know what's happened.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second, Lee. Let me just sort this out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Steve says my dream results next 3 games, lost 1, lose 1, and win next 2 games. Why banter manager his squad fans have to give us Co-man, a guard of honor and round of applause at Anfield. Agreed, Steve. Old Co-man, and we'll get into that. Newcastle I've seen interest in Kelleher, Gomez, Elliott. Yeah. They do. Newcastle, you have to quietly there. They've done well, and we've kind of boosted them up with that poor cup final performance. But fair play to Newcastle, and if they were to get all 3, I don't think they will, but you know, it'll boost the squad. I mean, Kelleher has been a great servant, as you know, Lee. I mean, his egos are my blessing. You know, he's been great. He deserves to be a number 1. Gomez, who knows? Newcastle again, maybe. Elliott again. Those are the 2 question marks, but we'll just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. And then also, Steve says Arnie has been told he needs to play Jota if he's available till the end of the season. Why? To get his value up. He'll be sold. Oh God, these conspiracy theories tonight. I don't think it's anything to do with that, Steve. He just likes Jota for whatever reason. Whether he gets sold, there's a possibility. I mean, there's a possibility. I think he might be, but we'll see, because he seems to like him, Slot. He definitely seems to like him.
Well, he's got a lot to prove here to him until the end of the season in terms of just staying fit, at least. That's the first Diogo Jota. I mean, I have seen the story about perhaps he could go back to Wolves as part of a deal for Cunha, but I don't think it's incredibly likely that Wolves would do that. They probably want to, want the money rather than like it Because we were talking about this last week, and Brian was saying you don't see many swaps now, and it's true. You do see less swaps these days, don't you? And it'd only be a partial one. From what I understand, the story is that like the BM and cash for Cunha would be the offer if the story has any truth to it. But I do really like Cunha. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cunha. If it came at the cost of letting Diogo go, yeah, I think I could live with that.
Right.
I think I could live with that. Just because of Diogo's fitness record. I do like him. I've always been one of his biggest fans since we got him. Really like him. Think he's a really good forward. But it's just the fitness thing. No sooner does he get up ahead of steam and get into his best form where he looks deadly and you're like, oh, I'm glad we've got him. He's out for 2 months or 3 months. And you have to forget about him all over again. You know what I mean? So I have snapped a little bit with him this season, fitness-wise, Diogo. But I wouldn't be upset if we kept him either and he was able to prove it, have a chance to prove his fitness next season to Slot. But hopefully he'll have somebody else as a rival anyway. We'll replace Nunes hopefully with somebody, hopefully Cunha, from my point of view. If we can't have Isak, then I'd love Cunha. And I think it'd be a choice between them. They'd be the two choices for that central spot then. And Diogo might not get picked as much.
I mean, but what would you say there? Because I mean, I do agree with Stephen the fact that basically his Liverpool career might be on the line, and he hasn't happened since he's back. I mean, do we go back to October when he played against Chelsea? He had a decent start to the season, and he got that lung puncture, and it's just I don't know. He's had 1 or 2 niggles. It just hasn't happened for him. Give me a second. Let me just check Jota's record this season for goals. Bear with me 2 seconds.
I'd laugh my head off if Man City did lose out on Champions League footy stay. That would please me enormously if Man City missed out on Champions League footy. Sadly, I don't think that's going to happen, that they will get it. But it please me immensely if they did miss out.
Yeah, hold that thought. Hold that thought, Lee. I'm just going to check. I mean, the appearances, I've just checking on Joy. His appearances are 21 appearances, 6 goals in all competitions and 4 assists, which is poor. For a player of his caliber is poor. But why do you think that is? I mean, obviously, I remember the PSG game, I can't remember the conference, first game he made, his form's not been great. And I thought the Everton goal would be just getting back because it was a great finish. That was a Jota finish, really. Getting back, it just hasn't happened. What do you think it is? Because I remember Pop saying, I remember the Chelsea game, the lung puncture, and it just hasn't been the same. Do you think he's carrying something, or it's just not happening for him? What do you think? What do you think Jota's loss of form is down to, Lee?
Constant fitness issues. He's not been able to get up ahead of steam. And yet he's been fit for a while now. What really done my head in is he was out for ages this season, and then he come back for 2 sub appearances, and he got injured again and was out for a further 5 weeks or something. I can't be dealing with this anymore. As much as I love him as a player, I think he's a really good striker. I couldn't take it anymore, the injury thing. So it's been luck as well. He has been unlucky. That the one against Chelsea, that was a bad one. And we had this bad one against Sheffield, Brentford when Nordgaard landed right on his rib cage. That was another unfortunate one, but he's unfortunate a lot. And, you can't have misfortune attached to you all the time because it'll end up costing you. When it's your number one forward, your number one choice, you need some sort of better fitness record because it's just a really important spot in the team. Firmino's good like that. He had a good fitness record. Firmino, yeah, he did have a few little injury periods, but it was never much, and it never really dented his momentum. Whereas Jota, just as he gets on the precipice of like really good form and good fitness, and that's something happens to him again. So yeah, he's got it all to do to prove now that he can stay fit and be the player that Slot obviously wants him to be for him, which is like the spearhead of his attack. Yeah, he's
Okay.
got it all left to prove. I need this
Mhm.
the end of the season, and then if he's here next season, he's just got to get on with it and be fit.
Okay. All right. So ask this in the chat. You can answer this. Quick question. Simple question. Does Jota stay or go in the summer for you? Would you think, Lee?
He'll probably stay, I think, because Nunes appears to be leaving. He's more than likely to stay, I think, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just more upheaval, it's more players leaving. So I think he's more on the staying side than the going side, I think. But I agree with Steve. I do really like Jota out on the left. I always did. He was excellent coming in off the left and scoring. But we've got other players there now. I mean, he's not going to play on the left, is he?
No, I think he's more fixed. Yeah, I mean, probably emergency. Yeah, but I think he's more fixed in his slot, especially slot. I mean, he's been drifting out as a striker, so I think the left will be optional for me. But yeah, I agree. I just got a feeling he'll stay. But again, if he goes, then I'm not going to be. I mean, I appreciate it, but if it's just that he gets too many knocks, and we just need someone who's really available. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what Slot does. But I agree with you. I think you'll keep him. But yeah, whatever's going on, hopefully he gets over it. And yeah, he can return to the Jot of old. Yeah, I'll keep on going through some of these comments. Steve, if he had the magic wand as the director of football, these players starting 11, he'll bring in Hincapie. Edison, yeah, I forgot to mention him. Yeah, good shout. We linked Atalanta midfielder, DM, very good. Cunha, and obviously Nunes, Diaz, Jota would be, sold. Okay, one for you, Lee. Lee, Arnie's summer budget is going to be half the price of what Chiesa costs.
Aren't we lucky?
Oh, dear, yeah, reason. I'll get another one for you, Lee. If cheap broke FSG, as you know, made 100 million available every summer up from 2019, plus money from player sales, Klopp wins more titles and Champions League trophies.
Definitely wins more titles, mate, and yeah, probably would have won more Champions League trophies if he was able to invest the way that Pep Guardiola was. To be honest, about first choice more often than not, because that's what Guardiola was able to do. It was the only way he was able to beat Jurgen, really, by hitting him over the head with a larger wad than what Jurgen had. That was his way of beating him, with money, literally, rather than like tactics and like footballing acumen. It was solely because of the finances involved. Like, in my opinion, I think Guardiola would have been lucky to get one bloody title if Klopp could have spent like him. The moment he come in the door, because if the moment he come in the door, he was able to spend a big wad. He'd already been set by the time Guardiola got here a year later, but he just wasn't able to do that. He had to do it very slowly, didn't he? Piecemeal. Bring him 3 signings and that. But, we got there in the end. He managed to win the league for us. And this side he's left us is about to win it again. So we've got to give Jurgen a hand for that. He has been one of the main reasons still. Yeah. Slot's his own man, done his own thing. Yes, it's his title, but it's Jurgen's players,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And, credit, because I remember I think because you missed the chat on Liverpool 12th Man, don't forget to subscribe to him as well, Liverpool 12th Man and the Irishman. Healy was saying that basically, obviously, it's an amazing achievement. Like no one would have predicted. Look at what he had to do with the squad. But at this, like you said, Lee, at the same time, it is. But let's be honest, Klopp didn't leave Scott slot with a scrub squad like Klopp had to deal when he took over Brendan's squad. He had a squad that was a very good squad that won the Carabao Cup and could have pushed to win the title, but he just left it to let it go at the end, finished third. It was a decent squad. Yes, he needed additions, but and so he was left with a good squad. So again, you don't know how the new manager comes, and Slot has implemented his style quite quickly on the team, but obviously there's lots of room to improve and certain things, but we'll see in due course. I'll just put that up as well for you, Lee. That's Steve's having just answering some of the stuff that you're saying on here. Yeah, but we'll never know. That's the annoying. We'll never know. Maybe you never know, and plus we didn't. That's the problem. So
make it up to us by investing properly this summer, so we can hopefully have a good shot at retaining our league title. Because that really hurt me the way it fell apart. Our title defence, it was all injury. Guardiola has already given up that season. Do you remember it was around Christmas? We were like quite far in front, like we were about 9 points in front or something. We beat who was it? Palace, Roy Hodgson's Palace. We beat, and like after that, like Guardiola said, yeah, I think it's like done this season pretty much. Like, and it did look at that point, and then all of a sudden Virgil gets injured. Well, no, actually, it was after Virgil. We managed to keep it going for a little bit after Virgil got injured, but like it was just Joe went, and there was no Matip either. And it just fell apart, didn't it, eventually? It was great that we were able to get fourth, though, still with Alisson's header. Alisson's header at West Brom was great, wasn't it? But I'd like us to have a good shot at retaining our title next season, because we were denied that, weren't we, in 2021 by injuries. I mean, for us to have all of our... I can remember that summer when we sold Lovren. I can remember Klopp's words. He said, it's okay, Fabinho can play the position, talking about when they said...
the dreaded photo, yeah.
Yeah,
Gomez, Matip, and VVD, yeah. Oh, the dreaded photo of Doom, yeah.
Yeah, he said, well, Fabinho can play that position as well. That was after we sold Lovren. And then for us to have only 3 centre-halves for the season was a bit of a gamble. And very soon we had none. I mean, don't forget, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, neither of them had played 1 second of Premier League or Champions League football before. Nat Phillips had a few FA Cup minutes. Reece hadn't even had that experience-wise for the first team. So to have it all on their shoulders was just too much, wasn't it? It was great to get fourth, though, that season, but it was a horrible way for the title defence to fall apart, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's good to Champions League, but it's just frustrating for me because we really should have done a back-to-back, and we were top in January. The league was there to be won, but FSG just asked tight and just got us the hologram and Kabak Young, just for desperation. That was annoying. And then Klopp as well, because he didn't trust them, he started playing Fabinho and Henderson as centre backs, which wasn't the right thing to do. But the damage was done, and that was annoying.
He played centre back that season. Everyone had to go at centre.
Yeah, it's an annoying season. Yeah, exactly. This is it, and he just
in the end, it was fake. There was nothing we could do about it, was there? It was just
it just kind of bite us in the arse because though the Alisson one was a very emotional, great moment, but it's just we should have been seeing this saying back to back. But
I did feel really sorry for Klopp when they made him come out in front of the cameras and say he was made up to get Ben Davies.
The hologram, you mean?
Yeah, because he did. He come out and said that. He said, when I found out that a player such as this was available for such a fee, I was amazed, because he had to sound enthusiastic, you know what I mean? He must have, I don't know if he wrote this little script before he went on camera, but I felt so sorry for him when I was sat there watching him on telly. I felt so sorry for Jurgen that he had to come out and say that about how pleased he was to get Ben White. You just know that the man wanted to come out and say, no, I didn't want Ben White. I wanted a good set. I wanted
Yeah,
name here. Any centre back you could name who was half decent. But was it cost money? See, he blamed COVID, didn't he? But I thought that was bollocks myself. Like, I thought if we couldn't, that's when I started to have me doubts about FSG as owners. I'd never
yeah,
believed we felt one way or the other, good or bad. They were just our owners and we were doing okay. Everything was okay with me. Everything was fine with me. And then it was just that injury crisis where we were left with no centre halves, for them not to buy somebody decent that he actually wanted. Because there will have been somebody available that he would have took that he could have got for him, even if it wouldn't have changed our season drastically. It just would have shown a little bit of goodwill, good intent from FSG towards Jurgen after he's already delivered the title for them. I just felt sorry for the man with that whole thing. I remember we were linked with Coletta Carr, weren't we? Now he wouldn't have been the type of player that I wanted, to be honest. Like, but there was others out, wasn't there?
Yeah, it would have been good. Yeah, any decent centre back, we would have won the league. Just as didn't have to be. We would have. But oh dear.
By accident, yeah. Ben Davies, I meant the other Ben Davies.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, exactly. I mean, the less Ben Davies, the better. But yeah, we'll move from that. Oh, that was yeah. God, I mean, I don't want to go. I don't want to go there again. That memory season. Ugh. All right, let me read some of these again. Comments, but Steve. I think you know what, Steve. You should come on. Steve? Can you just give us a shout? Let us know if you want to come on. Yeah, have your say. Chat to us, Steve. Can you come on? Let us know. Let us know, or anyone else. Just if you are available, anyone of you to come on, I'll send the link in the chat again. But Steve says he might not finish top 5. No Champions League. You know what, Steve? We'll love it. I think we'll have more fun, but they'll finish in the top 5 because Forest are being dragged back down and they lost to Everton. I don't think Forest will finish in the top 5, sadly for them. But yeah, I think City will be fine. If I'm honest. I think he says something here. Okay, where is it? Okay. 5 teams will fight for 2 Champions League places left. Yeah, we'll see. We can only see. And this is earlier to our discussion with Jota. Jota's best position is out wide on the left. He's no false number 9, just like Diaz. Jota made out crisps, Walker's crisps. I take it. Steve, sell him. That is funny. That is funny. Where are we now? All right. Do you think as soon as the title is won, next 2-3 games, Anu would give Kwanzaa and Nunez starts in dead rubber games? Mate, I mean, I hope so, Steve. I'm sure Leo will say the same. I hope so, because geez, I mean, if they don't get games for then, at least, I mean, something's up then. But yeah, hopefully, they deserve to get the praise and medals. Name, okay. One for you again, Lee. The bulldozer. Oh, I see what Steve's saying. Clip it there. Steve's on one tonight.
Well, the big winter bowls and that aren't they in Spain and Portugal, or is that just Spain? They have their streets of Pamplona. The El Matador.
El Matador, exactly. No problem. Okay. All right. We'll skip that. Lads, if we win the Champions, if we're still in the Champions League, we'll lose today against West Ham. No, not necessarily, Steve. I don't think we would lose. We'll be extra pep in our step, but again, it's the whole rotation stuff with Arnie. But no, not necessarily. But if we played like this, then yeah, well, maybe. And that's what it is. Okay, Steve, I'm so happy we have 3 quality keepers compared to Man United. to who have two Sunday league keepers who can't catch a goal in the Arctic. Mate, forget Arctic, mate. They can't even catch their own ball bags. But there you go. We move.
Couldn't save a Word document.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, this is from Steve. I'll tell you, Steve Lee. He's kind of having some good interaction with you, Steve, in the comments. Oh, okay. All right. So he's saying that you said Ben White instead of Ben Davis. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's all right. Okay. Hey, Steve. It's but both of us, not just Lee. No, I'm joking, Steve. Okay, there's another one here for you, Lee. Steve is really interacting with you. When we had this centre back crisis, FSG should have paid the extra 6.7 mil, brought in Kanati in January. He's coming in the summer, and also we win the title. All facts, big facts. Which, like Lee said, Kanati, whoever, it didn't. It just had to be a decent centre back that could do a job. We would have won that title. That's yeah. I mean, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, that's where the pain came in for me with our owners. That was the first real pain that I felt, because before that I'd been pleased enough with them. They came in bad circumstances after them idiots that it was sold to first time round. But that was when I started to have my doubts about them. Look, they're not the worst owners. They've been good in many ways, but they just could put a little bit extra transfer cash in at times, just a little bit extra, to make that difference. But I mean, any club will say that. You ask any club's fans what they want. It's more money for signings, better signings,
Yeah, 100%. Steve again. Cully's made that of happy shopper crisps. 100%. But no, I get it, Steve. You're multitasking, no problem, Steve. Guys, anyone's watching, just please, like, share, and subscribe. We've got more stuff going on. We've got more content. Me, Fuzzy, JK, and you hear the guest appearances of Uncle Rods and other fans. The Irishman and other people. But please like, share, and subscribe. Going to do more content, be more stuff coming on the channel. But it seems to you a lot of you guys are shy today. You don't want to come on. But like I said, I'll love you guys to come on. I'm just going to put the link in one more time. If anyone changes their mind, please come on. Come on the show if you can. But while we do that, Lee, who did you think in the chat? Who was your man in the match today for us?
McAllister. Got McAllister was good.
Yeah, you thought he had a good game, did you?
Yeah, I thought he did well today. Yeah, good field. He's looked quite good lately. He's a good player. Yeah. No surprise. Been a great sign, and I for the fee for the amount. Yeah, I thought he had a good game today.
Yeah, no. I would say for me, in terms of that, no, Lucho. I thought Lucho had a good game. I think with this 12 man, I thought Lucho had a good game. McAllister, I thought he was good at parts, but I thought he was lacking in the defensive aspect, because I think West Ham spun us quite a few times. Was a bit disappointing. We made the game harder than it should have been, and then another day we probably would have dropped points, But for me, Lucho, along with Salah, they were on fire, and I think Lucho, the few moments Lucho had the beating of Wan-Bissaka, whoever, and then obviously when we 1-1, he nearly scored, off the cross. But I thought Lucho was very good for me, definitely a man in the match. And Lucho, competition's been good because Lucho started the season, then Cody came in and Cody was on form, and then Cody had his injury and Lucho's struggled, but Lucho's been back on form, and Cody came on, unfortunately didn't do anything. So it's Lucho, he's just the number one starter. So we'll see what happens on that. We'll see what happens on that. Steve says here, would you take the Dilap as backup striker to the first choice striker? He's good. Would I? It's a backup. Yes, but only if the striker that is in front of him is a quality striker, like a Isaac Cole Martinez, someone on that ilk. Then yeah, I'll take him. If not, then if it's going to be like, let's just say, for instance, not striker, but Acuna, someone like that. Then nah, I don't think I would want. They're like, if I'm honest. What about yourself, Lee?
I can see why people are mentioning him. You know, he's a handful, but is that enough for you to want him in your squad? Probably not for me. Although I wouldn't say, you know, I wouldn't go, I wouldn't have physically bought and say, oh, why have we done it? Because I don't understand what we were buying them for. Like,
Yeah.
not for me though. No, I prefer someone like Cunha. I think Cunha would be excellent up there. And then if we don't sell Jota, it'd be between them two for the central position, wouldn't it? More often than not. And hopefully we'd have Chiesa and Salah as choice for right wing, Gakpo choice for the left wing. That'll be perfect for me then to have two players for each position.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, I hear you with that. But yeah, it's good enough for me. But let's go back to the second half, and then there's another follow-up question I was gonna ask you, Lee, and the chat. You obviously, as always, since you're shy to come on. I mean, what's going on here, man? It's like dated. It's like that girl you first meet. She goes, "I'm shy. I don't want to come on." But what do you make of the second half? Because I felt the second half, Lee, we're a bit, I don't know, we're a bit negative. We're just a bit lackadaisical. I don't know if it's mentally or we're just a bit, we just weren't really at it. West Ham kind of pushed us quite a bit, and it feels like, apart from a Diaz moment and the McAllister free kick hit the thing, there was not much. Salah was a bit non-existent, and it's only till we got the equaliser we kind of woke up again. We kind of peppered them a bit, but West Ham, I'm very much disappointed not to take a point. I mean, what did you make of that second half, Lee?
I think we took our foot off the gas a little too much. We'll have the pressure off the pedal a bit too much, and tried to just coast home with a little bit of energy that was already there. And we did come undone at the end. I mean, the game looked like it might have an equaliser in it, I thought, the longer it went on. I mean, I'm just glad that we managed to win at the end, but we did try to cope. We took our foot off the gas too much, didn't we? Instead of forcing ourselves, on them a bit more in the second half, we just allowed them to have the ball a little bit too much, and it ended up costing us.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree.
Wasting time in that way, you know what I mean? Trying to just see it out till the end, and really bit us on the bum. Thankfully, we were able to salvage it, but it would have been left a nasty taste, to have not won that one after being in front for so long. It's always a horrible one, that, isn't it? When you're in front, from early on, and then it's the equalise late. But there was still enough time for us to win it, thankfully. But yeah, it wasn't a good second half. It was pretty poor. The whole performance wasn't great. It wasn't one of our better performances. Yes, we got the job done, but there's plenty of room for improvement. Put it that way.
No, I agree. Lee. I think, we could have, but at the end of the day, because we got the win, and that's the main thing, regardless of the results. But again, and I'll get onto that in terms of the balance of people's opinions. But what did you make of the subs, Lee? Because myself, I think we were not proactive. It was just like we were going into a shell. Like West Ham were creeping into the game, but we made more technical subs than I think we could have, just sealed the game a bit. I mean, I know Cody, basically Cody usual. Obviously, Jota came off, he weren't great, and then Sobo for Curtis, and then Kwanzaa for Bradley, which again I was disappointed. I was furious, but again, understandable. He's just come back from injury. They don't want to overdo it, and then he gets injured, and then we're back to a Kwanzaa or Jones or even Endo, and then Endo, did his, come on lastminutebits.com, which I'm just getting fed up with. And then I just thought, you've got Elliot and Chiesa, and you're just like, and yeah, you can, yeah, and obviously you could say, like I suppose, well, we've won again, but performances are not being great. And I get, you're not going to have great. Probably if this happens in the next two games that we seal the title, then we're not going to care. But it's just a bit of concern. And again, for me, I just feel in terms of substitutions and using pace, I think Slott's got a bit of arrogance about him, which I don't like. And I feel, he should, regardless of whether he rates, people say he doesn't rate him or he doesn't like him, whether he likes them or not. Bigger managers have dealt with players that, not in the future pants, but use them. I think these players have got the body of work, because how can we go this season that Chiesa and Elliott and Nunes have not made one Premier League start? Beat that, people. The three of them from August to now, they have not made one Premier League start. I think that's actually disgraceful and disrespectful to all three of them. And yeah, little cameos there, but I just don't like this way Slot. And that's the thing. His rotation cost us in two important games, you know. But yeah, what did you make about the subs, Lee? About proactive? What would you use? Not proactive? What's your opinion about the subs Slot made and the chat?
They didn't really have that much of an effect, did they? Was it only Quansah and Robertson that was used? I forget now who else was used.
Yeah, so Quansah, Robertson, Cody, Endo, and Soba.
Oh yeah, they come on at the end, didn't they? Yeah, I
remember.
And he did okay. It was just one of them games today where we just about did enough. That's as good as big praise you can really give today's performances. We did enough, but there's room for improvement, isn't there? I don't think he could have done anything differently, really, thinking about it, like with the subs. I don't think if he'd made them in different roles or all in different positions at different times, that we would have had a bigger margin of victory or anything. Well, yeah, at least players did get minutes. It was good to see some players get minutes at least.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you, Lee. I think that, like Tsimikas obviously just looks like, yeah. Again, I just sometimes with Slot, and I guess, and what do you make about, actually, before I go on, what do you make about this battle in the fan base? Because I think we were in Liverpool 12 man's chat when we were discussing about Slot. I think, was it the Fulham game? And of course, people, big up Pops, I mean, they're saying, well, we're going to win the league 20th. What are we not moaning, but why are we complaining? Why are we saying this? But same time, there's people like me and JK. We give Slot all the praise, but when we're not playing well, there's right to criticism. But we understand the mission. But I think it's right to criticism. And again, I think Red Rebellion got a bit disrespectful in terms of 12th when we were chatting on the channel about how many numbers he's got. He's so negative. He's toxic. But we're all going to celebrate winning the league, and he didn't like it. And it feels like some people, obviously, they're understandable saying, well, we're going to win the league, but they don't want to give criticism. So what do you think about that in the chat, in the fan base right now with Liverpool fans, which is, in terms of criticism of performances, but at the same time, there's certain fans saying, why are we moaning? We're going to win the league. What do you think about all that, Lee?
We've got to have a bit of a moan, haven't we? Because things could be better. They're gonna need to be better if we're going to retain the title next season. So of course, people are going to have a little bit of a moan. Things try and keep it respectful though to the players that you're moaning about. It's not about them personally or anything. It's just some of them don't seem to fit the mold of what Slot wants to do. And there's others that we're not sure on. There's others that we think might have a future here, but we just don't know. Yeah. So yeah, it's okay for us to have a little bit of a bellyache, I think, about it. Even though we're winning the title, I do like to point that out all the time. You know, we're about to win the title, and you know, no better place could we be in. It's a great time to be a Liverpool fan, but we definitely need some adjustments next season. So having a little moan about it, all well and good, I think, as long as you keep it within the parameters of common sense when you're having a go like about things. As I said before about the ownership and the money we spend, I don't expect us to spend like ridiculous amounts of money, and I don't expect us to buy players who I know full well will cost too much. But I do expect us to make money available to buy enough players so we stay competitive. And you know, I will be annoyed if we mess this summer up, because to me it looks like it'd be hard to mess this up for Arnie. He's come in, he's done this already in his first season, put his stamp on it. So to mess it up from here by the owners would be a huge, take a huge F up, wouldn't it? Like to mess it up from here. All they need to do is just identify a few players in a few positions, replace the ones that aren't going to play and that maybe want to move for their career. And, you know, we'd be good to go again, won't we? And try and retain this title.
Yeah. 100%. All right, I'll read some of these comments as well, Lee. Go through some of them. Right, so Man United are 3 points off bottom fourth place in the table. They are finished. Oh, we'd love to see it, Steve, but I don't even care about the league position, which is funny. I want them to be out of Europa. I'll be watching them because, mate, I don't want them to win it. And, you know, they could always get jammy and they'll always do so. Hopefully, I'll be Viva la France, Lyon. Jules Billy, laisse quoi? Viva la Lyon.
I
On français.
I have to say about United, if United side this bad can get so far in the Europa League, it doesn't shine the greatest of lights on the Europa League or the season.
No.
Anyway, I thought they would have been knocked out long ago. Mind you, they've only been through a couple of knockout rounds, haven't they, since the group stages? Everyone knew they'd get through the group stages, like, obviously, but yeah. Definitely want to see them go out. Yeah, I hope Leon can do the business for us. But we'll wait and see.
Exactly. We wait with bated breath as Leon fans for the day. But see, big up Aaron. Aaron, how you doing, bro? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Family, everything bless. Hope you're good. And this was talking about the man of the match because you said McAllister, I said Lucho, Allison all the way. And yeah, he's up there, but he made some crucial saves for us. He really did, Ali. Good to see him back in the goal. Steve says, when West Ham were controlling the game second half and creating chance after chance, I was shouting at the TV for Arnie to go 4-5-1 to get control of the game. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, there could be the shout, Steve, but yeah, I think he tried to be too smart and we got bypassed in the midfield. I think changing it from 4-2-4-2-4. That wasn't a great move, I think. The lap class as homegrown also, yes, that's true, but I'm just not sure. But if we were to get him, then yeah, you gotta give me a world class, a quality striker, one of the best in Europe in front of him. So yeah. Okay, Gapco, Cunha, Salah started 11, backups, Gittins, Dilap, Yildiz, mixture of experience of youth. Sounds decent, but in reality, probably won't happen. Might get one of them if we're lucky, to be honest, Steve. Subs coming on made us worse. Yeah, I guess so. But I just feel we just didn't stay in the second half. It was a bit like Lee. You remember the Wolves game? We were cruising, and then we just kind of the second half. We just I don't know. Mentally, we just went back. We just let them come on to us. We kind of had to do last minute tackles, etc. We kind of we just sleeping. We just kind of just took our foot off the pedal, and yeah. So subs, if it was different subs, then yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess so, Steve. Yeah, I can't really disagree. Unfortunately, just worked the right sub spell on it. Big up everyone start watching. Big yourself up. Right. Okay. And Edwards, big up Edwards. Hope you well, my guy. Big up yourself, Edward. He says, I think this type of football is our style now. And I'll come back onto that Edwards comment. Steve says, would you take KDB on a year's contract this summer at LFC? What's your thoughts on that, Lee? KDB, he's leaving. He's had injuries. He's been playing recently, though. Would you take him on a year's contract?
Not now, no, not now. I was off like a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's just fitness now, isn't it? It's getting him fit long enough and that. But yeah, he used to be a big. I mean, he's brilliant. Money supported us as well when he was a kid, didn't he? Apparently. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him here in an alternate reality, but not now. No.
Yeah, I'm the same. Not now. Yeah, I wouldn't want KDB, to be honest. Aaron says, Endo, Watari, Gum Shield, Endo. What? Gum Shield, Endo, the man, the fighting man from Japan would have been the answer. Yeah, I mean, I wanted him to start, if I'm honest, Aaron. Phil Grav and, Mac haven't been in the races, although picked up a little bit. But yeah, I think Endo should have started, but, fair enough. Okay. Right. This is for us. Did you hear Arnie's comments about Kudus? Arnie wants Kudus at LFC this summer. Diaz replacement. Listen, Steve, I'll say it once, I say it twice. It's better than 3 times. 3 is the 4 sitting on the wall, on the door, but with the 4-4. Get me Mohamed Kudus as a Ghanaian, and I'm a bit biased, but he's a great player. And he just hasn't produced the West Ham injuries, and the team's just, the performances has been good recently without the goals. Get me Mohamed Kudus. I think you were saying that, mentioned Steve about someone else. I believe. Oh yeah, KDB. Forget KDB. Get me Mohamed Kudus ASAP. He needs to be in this team. He will cook, and I tell you, man, he will cook. Believe me, he will cook, and he will get better as a player because Arnie plays a certain type of football, more control, more his passing awareness. Kudus, would that be one for you, Lee? Would you like
Yeah,
Mohamed
yeah,
in this team, in this squad? Yeah.
yeah. I think Mokuda's a good player. Yeah, Arnie's
Yeah.
aware, obviously, from his time in Holland. Yeah, it'd be a great signing, I think. Yeah, in the forward positions, if Diaz was to move on, and it was to Saudi, say we'd be getting a good wedge. So hopefully we'd have a good wedge to spend on his replacements.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Okay, so that's one for Edward from Steve. Without the ball, we were poor. Need heavy metal footy to recover the ball back as fast as possible. Kept the ball too long for me in certain periods. Okay. Okay. This one's for you, Lee. You can read this out and you can answer this.
Will they say signings are not needed? Hopefully not. Hopefully they won't have the brass neck to say that signings aren't needed because we all know they are. Yeah, it wouldn't be very good that would it if he came out and said that. I'd have a heart attack if he came out and said that the squad's strong enough as it is without any additions. You're like, really?
Oh, yeah. I think we'll be falling off much, yeah. In a sixpence. Steve also says VVD ignoring Robbo shout, and then OG goes in, and Robbo erection was like my cousin's 5 get 5-year-old. Yeah, God, you can tell my daughters when they're that young, even one of them now at her big age, she's just 10. Oh, yeah, having a disco when he's not allowed sweet. Big up, Steve. Yeah, As a parent, I've seen it as well. Oh boy, yeah. I'm just thinking, I ain't got time for this. You stay in the show. I'm gonna go home. Home sweet home. There you go. And also, it says Endo to return back to German League this summer. Endo plus cash on top from C for Larson. Get it done. Are you talking about Larson, Steve, from Frankfurt, I believe, if I'm correct? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah. Be interested to see with Endo. I think he should go because, he's not starting games and he's better to be. He's not, I don't want him to be this, 5-minute player, man. He deserves to just get starts elsewhere. So no, what will be. But yeah, with the West Ham equalising goal, yeah, I think he's right. Yeah, I mean, obviously he started on the right. I think West Ham, and then obviously Kwanzaa was sleeping, wasn't he, Lee? He was sleeping. He let Kwanzaa to get the cross in, and then yeah, Robbo obviously the shout. VVD misread it, and yeah, they scored. And obviously, like Steve said, the Robbo anti is he fit? Is he fit? But yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, defensively, how did you think we were today as well, Lee? Because I thought we were just a bit shaky at times. It's just weird. We're just a little bit of the shakes.
Yeah, we haven't looked at our best defensively for some time now, and possibly not since before Ibu got his injury against Real Madrid. I thought that was the best we looked defensively this season before he went out the team injured, and then came back again. We haven't looked at our best, I don't think, in months now defensively. We have looked worryingly shaky at times, haven't we, in quite a few of the matches. So yeah, there is something to be concerned about, definitely, with next season on the horizon. It's concern now still this season, obviously, because we've got games to play. But I've not seen us look our best defensively now since, I don't know, probably about February or something it was. I think that's when we were at our peak defensively and looked our meanest, give up the fewest chances.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, weren't great.
Sorry, it was well before February. I'm talking about, when was it when we played Madrid and then we played City as well? It was December. It was December, wasn't it? That.
Was it I think it was November. Let me double check that, Lee. Give me a second.
That's when Ibu and Virgil looked.
Yes, you're right. You're right,
Yeah.
Lee. It was December. Yeah, start of December. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's many months ago now, though, isn't it? I thought that's when we did our best defensively, like around that time. That's pretty well. You can't say the league was won. What I'm saying is, it was around that time they started to really believe, yeah, we're going to do this here. We're going to win the league. Do you know what I mean?
We're going to do this.
Yeah, a lot of it was done in them months, wasn't it? October and November and December, like we were so good, like it in them months, like. I thought that, yeah, that's when we look best defensively. So, yeah, we've got to regain a bit of our defensive strength and not give up as many daft chances that there's no need to give up. Like the ones that happened in Fulham.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I think it's just a bit of easing. I don't know. There's a lot of mentality, just being poor form or psychologically thinking they kind of know without, no player will say it, that this league's done. So yeah, if just something we just kind of back, and it's a shame because he just doesn't, the injuries in the right back, and he's iffy with Kwanzaa, so Kwanzaa wouldn't have the chance. I thought we could have started Kwanzaa centre back today, in my opinion, and then obviously Joey's situation is he's just so unlucky, man. He's such a, I just think Joe Gomez, he just gets slept on by a lot of fans. They just think another rival channels, but he's a quality centre back, and it's just such a shame because he would have been there and you could rest. But you know, it is what it is, Lee. It definitely is what it is. Frank Larson, quality young player. Okay, that's who I was thinking.
They look to have a few decent players, don't they, Frankfurt?
Yeah, they do, Lee. Yeah, there are some quality players. So yeah, they definitely do.
I'm sure Slot's aware of the good players in the Bundesliga, with them being Dutch. It's only next door, isn't it? Like Holland. So he'll be well aware of the good players within the Bundesliga, I'm sure. You know, the potential signings that there are there. You know, a lot of Dutch players go and play in Germany, don't they? Yeah, the thing with Germany and Holland, yeah, it's quite a rivalry. It's quite a football rivalry, that one, Germany and Holland. They're not the best of friends, but yeah, I'm sure Ari's well aware of any good players in Germany, being a Dutchman, like, and the German league only being on his doorstep there when he was a player, like. And then now as a manager, like, so yeah. I hope he's got an eye on the Bundesliga. I hope we've got scouts everywhere. Sometimes I get a bit pissed off with just the idea of our scouting system, like how good it is, you know, because there's good players everywhere. They just need to be identified. I just hope we can do that. I hope that Hughes and Edwards have really got on the case of doing that since Hughes has only just come in the door, but Edwards is just back in the door, isn't he? So I hope the year that they've had now to settle in, the season that they've had to settle in, they've identified enough good players for them. And if some of them are at Frankfurt, if one of them is Larson, good. If not, we'll find them somewhere else, I'm sure. But yeah, there's plenty of good players out there. Just got to identify them. Hopefully that's what we're going to do this summer. Yeah, I was looking at Ekatike, yeah, in the highlights of the Spurs game. Yeah, he looks a good player. Speed as well, yeah. Yeah, some good players on that side. Be interesting to see if Spurs can turn that one around. If they're only getting a draw at home. I've always had a goodwill towards Spurs, to be honest. As a Liverpool fan, they were London's glamour club when I was a little boy. When I looked like this in my avatar, and I used to collect sticker albums. I remember the Tottenham side from them, like all the big players and that. Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa, Steve Archibald, Tony Galvin, Gareth. What was his name at the back? Gareth Roberts. Gareth Roberts, yeah. Graham Roberts. Garth Crooks was another one. Yeah, I used to like the old Spurs in the 80s when I was a kid. So I'd be happy for Spurs to do well in the Europa League. Man United, not so much. But I'd be happy for Spurs. I actually watched Spurs win the Europa League or the UEFA Cup when I was 11. We went to the Lake District. It was the last thing we did in junior school before we broke up for the summer, and we were all obviously going to high school then in the September. We went to the Lake District, and they had like a big sort of like hall place with a big old wooden telly in it, and we watched Spurs win the UEFA Cup. 1984 was the year Liverpool won the treble. We won the league, the European Cup, and the League Cup, and Spurs won the UEFA Cup. So I'd be happy to see Spurs win the Europa League again, because it's a trophy we've seen them lift before, obviously. And it was against Anderlecht. They won on pens against Anderlecht in 1984. But yeah, I've always had quite a soft spot for Spurs, so I hope they do good in the Europa League, and it does qualify them for the Champions League as well if they were so winning.
Yeah, Lee, sorry about that.
I was just saying, like, I always liked Tottenham a bit, like when I was a kid, growing up. I'd be happy to see them win it, like the Europa League. Not Man United, obviously, but Spurs. I mean, they've got a job on their hands to turn it around against Frankfurt, haven't they? Because they've got to go away now, haven't they? With a draw and 1-1. I think they could do it. They could win in Germany, but it'd be tough on the evidence of the first leg.
Oh, big up, man. I mean, this is a nice surprise, man. Obviously, yeah, the chat's on fire. He thought, you know what, man? He thought, I'm not staying out. You can't let me down. It's my fellow co-host, LSC Red Forever member, JK. Big up, JK.
Bless, bro. Bless, Lee.
Okay.
What you saying, man? Everything good, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I'm just happy we got 3 points today, bro. A lot of things going on, like with players and stuff, but I don't really understand. A lot of stuff we don't really need to worry about. Like players not getting game time and stuff like that, wrong subs, stuff like that, man. But I'm just happy we won. End of story.
One step nearer the title, aren't we? Only 2 victories now, just 2 games away from it. What is the one after Leicester? I forgot now. It's Leicester, then it's Spurs.
I think it's Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah, Spurs. So we could potentially be winning it against Spurs. Well, that's something we've done before. Won it against Spurs at Anfield years ago, like when I was a kid. It happened a couple of times. I think we won it against Spurs at Anfield.
Then we got
Yeah.
mhm.
So I remember like Ray Clements being in goal, he returned and that, like Ronnie Whelan scoring. But yeah, we've won at home against Spurs before the league title, so it'd be good to do it again. Sooner the
Okay.
better. Sooner the better. As long as it happens, it's all good. But sooner the better, yeah.
Yeah, because after the Tottenham game, we got Tottenham at home. So that's a good thing. And then we got Chelsea away and then Arsenal at home. So the title could be wrapped up soon as. I think the Leicester game next week. They got a draw yesterday, Leicester now, 2-2 or something. I'm sure Leicester drew yesterday. Let's try and look where it is. Premier League results. Yeah, they got a 2-2 against Brighton. Okay. Interesting.
They've gone off the boil a little bit, Brighton, haven't they? They were playing well.
Yeah.
No bad.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird team, Brighton.
Oh, they look good. Well, he's done okay, this fella, hasn't he? I forget his name. What's the new Brighton fella called?
Something Tyler Hyler. I'm sure it begins with H.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think it's something like that. I'll have a look now quickly.
Anyway, he's done okay, hasn't he? He's done okay as De Zerbi's replacements. It's been good for Brighton. They're another team I remember from childhood being in the first division and getting to the FA Cup final where they lost after a replay to Man United. But yeah, they're another club from years ago that I remember, Brighton. But yeah, lately they're not playing that well. But it's been a good re-emergence for Brighton from the Championship. They're really like cemented now in the league, aren't they? Like the place is secure. Huntelaar, yeah, something, isn't it?
Hertzler, yeah, Fabian Hertzler.
That's him, yeah. He's only a young
I knew it was
bloke.
something like that.
Yeah, he's like shockingly young for a manager, isn't he? He's who's this guy? Like kid?
Yeah. He's from Switzerland. He's Swiss. I think he's doing an alright job. I think what it is with Brighton, it started off great. Barbet was scoring this, that, and the other. That's why I'm not a big fan of João Pedro. I know he got 2 goals yesterday. He got 2 penalties, but I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. What do you reckon of João Pedro, Lee?
Prefer Cunha. I do like João Pedro, but don't like him as much as Cunha. If the two were put up put up together as options. I prefer Cunha. But
Mhm.
Joe Pedro's definitely got goals in him, hasn't he? We've seen that much. And in a better side, he'd obviously score more.
Yeah, but I think Cunha's got a bit more bite in him. Cunha scored again yesterday now. In their win 4-2 against Tottenham, he scored. But out of the two, I'd go for Cunha. I know you like Cunha. I think Cunha is a bit more sharp on his feet. João Pedro is a good player, but I just think he ain't quick enough for us, if you know what I mean.
It's the amount of different finishes Cunha's got in him. He can score a lot of different types of goals.
Yeah.
He's got, and he can score them with either feet as well. He can score very good goals with either feet. I do really like him. I think he's a player to do well for us at a,
Yeah.
it's not a ostentatious fee, is it? Like 65 million, it's not ridiculous money or anything, like not showing off or anything, spending that amount. It's pretty much standard for a decent forward, isn't it? That it's not, it's not out of this world money, is it? Like, so
Yeah, it ain't like 100, yeah.
I'd be made up with him as a sign.
But don't you reckon today in the game against West Ham, we were lacking like a number 9 throughout the game? Just a guy who got the ball, holding it up, flicked it, passed it on. That type of number 9. I realised since Darwin hasn't really been playing, there's no guy who we can aim for in the middle. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like Yotta's been non-existent. Like you can't play up to him. He can't hold it on. Play other guys through. That sort of number 9. He brings a lot of peace to the game by holding the ball up for other players and just holding the ball for a couple of seconds while the team gets back into shape. And I think we've missed that with Yotta playing. Yotta's not really doing that for us. What do you reckon of Yotta against West Ham, bro?
Yeah, I think me and Lee was saying in the chat about your it just hasn't happened, and I think like we were saying earlier in 12th man, me with Lee saying about, I don't know, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because he's just picking up niggles and that punctured, that Pops was saying earlier, the punctured lung that happened to him the Chelsea game, and he had an okay start to the season, not a spectacular start. He was okay, and since then he just, I don't know, it just hasn't been the same. And you thought, as me and Lee was saying, the Everton game was the changer. You thought, all right, because the goal was a Jota goal. That was a Jota classic goal, brilliant movement, in, out, bang, but it just hasn't happened, and for whatever reason, Slot just refuses to not start him. He likes him for whatever reason, and but
I know what you mean. I like Yotta.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
what he can bring to the table, like that Everton goal, that was just pure a Liverpool number 9 scoring a goal, doing what we want him to do. And I don't know what it is with Yotta. It's weird. Like sometimes footballers can't find their feet when they get brought on as a sub and stuff. And I think what it is with Yotta, even though he's starting a lot of games, he still can't find his feet, bro.
yeah.
That's a bit worrying for me. Guy
Yeah.
with his sort of caliber of goals and scoring and stuff, you think by now he would find his feet, bro. Still can't do it. Against West Ham, non-existent really when you look at it. Top lad, top guy, top player. But I just feel under Slot he just can't pick. But Slot picks him. Slot likes him. So he must see something in him in training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that coincides with the Darwin sort of press conference we've seen on 12th about he weren't feeling well or something like this.
Yeah, I think me and I think Lee. You did you agree with me, Lee? Because I know Steve-O thinking that it's what thought it was the truth, but again, I think he is a cop out. I think it's just deflection. Again, like we said before, that wasn't a guy who was ill on the bench. Now, knowing that I don't know his body, we're not inside his body.
Mhm.
We want to get all deep and technical with it, but that wasn't a guy who was ill for me. And of course, Slot is not going to tell us the real reason. He's not going to give it away. And they were just,
yeah.
go on, JK.
I just reckon something disciplinary happened.
Mhm.
And when you're picking two bloody goalkeepers to sit on the subs bench,
Yeah,
so like for me, it's either disciplinary or he's really ill. And I think if you're really ill, you'll be staying at home. You don't want to infect anyone else. Maybe it's a stomach thing. I don't, God knows, bro. We're not doctors, But for me, it's just a weird one that was.
What, Darwin's non-involvement today, you mean?
Yeah, and the comment with Slot saying that he went well. I was thinking when players ain't really well, they don't end up staying at the stadium unless they just got unwell as soon as they got to the stadium or something. Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
going to understand it.
I mean, it
But if
was
you weren't
true
feeling well,
against Eindhoven, wasn't it? He was unwell against Eindhoven, and Jay Dan's got the nod to start because apparently Darwin was penciled in to start away in Eindhoven, but
Mhm.
got some sort of tummy bug, which can happen with players. Like, it's not unknown. It's like,
Uh-huh.
a 48-hour thing or something, but puts you off your stride. Obviously, you can't play then. Well, we were saying before, me and Lanty, when we first came on, that we hope it, that is the case. It's just an illness thing because I want to see him again. Like, I enjoyed his little cameo in the derby, getting the crowd pumped up. I can't even remember what happened. It was a tackle or a corner or something of minor importance, but it was like giving his fist pump ups to the crowd and that getting the crowd going because it was the derby, and that was like, yeah, get in there, lads.
True.
get in
But
there.
have you noticed,
Yeah.
bro? We don't look exciting at all since Darwin hasn't been involved in a long time now, and since then we ain't looked good at all. And that's what I mean about Darwin Núñez. He might not be the goal scorer that we all want. I understand that, but for me, he brings a certain element of danger to the opposition.
Chaos.
Chaos. That chaos is what we've needed in that bloody PSG game and in that Newcastle game and even in that Fulham game, bro. Darwin didn't do nothing in them games. Like he wasn't even involved. He's another guy. Harvey Elliott, another guy. None of them guys were involved today against West Ham yesterday. Elliott, Chiesa, Darwin. All three, when they come on, try to do something to get us a goal. Who else does that at the subs? None of them really. And all the other subs who don't really do that all came on today. Yesterday, I keep saying bloody today. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I think Robertson. I think something's gone like screw loose in that way of discipline, in that way of making mistakes. You know what I mean, bro? I think when you join a new club, you're so disciplined and strict not to make a mistake that you get a career at that club. I think because Robbo's been so long with us, I just feel right now he's had that season, bro. It's been this is for me Robertson's worst season for us. Yeah, it has to be.
I just feel he's played too much. I feel Simicast could have played more minutes. I feel like the intense way we played under Klopp, and it took a lot out of his legs. I mean, we've seen it with Fabinho. Fabinho looked half dead before he left. It was an intense time under Klopp. Like, and a lot of them players have moved on. He's one of the only ones that's still here. I mean, yes, Virgil was here, but Virgil doesn't do anywhere near as much running in his position. So it really has took its toll, I think, on Robbo. For me, I'd like to see him as the number 2 going forward. Not because I don't think he's, I just think he's tired. Yeah, I just think he's tired. I'd like to see him as the second choice. So what I'm saying is, I think he can still perform for us and give us good performances, but in limited amounts. We can call on him now and then, but not all the time, relying on him constantly, 24/7 all year round. It's not gonna work, is it? Because let's not forget he's got his international career as well, hasn't he? He's a player he plays all the games internationally as well, doesn't he? And I think it's just a case of that with Robbo, that the wear and tear, because it's not that he's too old. He's not that old, really. It's just, I think it was the particular way that Klopp played took a lot out of him over the years. The amount of running he had to do. I think, anyway. I don't know. It looked that way.
No, agreed. Let me just go through some of these stuff. Well, it's dominated. Steve has been on it again, guys. Big up, everyone. Like I said, unfortunately, JK and Lee, we've got some shy people who are watching. In the comments, don't want to come on, send the link, but they're too shy. They want to comment, which is fair enough. We, like I said, me and JK Lee, we'd love to hear your opinions, man. We're here. We'd love you to come on and just hear your opinions if you want,
I'd love to hear Steve's opinion about the owners and that, like hear him talk about it. That'd be cool. So, Steve, anytime you want to come on, let us know, man.
Yeah.
I actually agree with most of the stuff he says about them.
Yeah, exactly. I think JK Steve said earlier he's multitasking, so he couldn't come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he couldn't come on. But I'll just go through. I know what Steve some of these comments. Okay.
Yeah, that was really. I've seen that coming a mile off. That through ball for Bowen. Bro, as soon as I just knew that something was going to happen, then it was like our high line.
Yeah,
was a bit too high, if you understand what I mean. In a weird sort of way, I'm not a big fan of VAR, but I realised with VAR, it's easier to get away with playing the offside rule. Because sometimes if the linesman don't give it and you're playing the offside rule, the goal's given, you know what I mean, bro? But VAR will come in and sort it out. So hence why for me VAR is good for the way we play. With a high line, it's important in a weird sort of way. I don't even like VAR.
Yeah, 100%. JK Lee. Steve says Bowen clever movement caused VVD and Ibu problems today. It did, unfortunately, but luckily it didn't cost us. Steve next says Alpha Lee, Theatre, who are Belgian defender. I don't really rate him. Larson and Kittier, 3 class players at Frankfurt. Good players, but for me, not Liverpool players, in my opinion, for where we want to go. But that's just me at Frankfurt. Got Lee and Steve. JK, you missing? They've been having their own 1-to-1. I've been ignored. Again for you, Lee. Eketier lacks physical presence. He will get bullied in the EPL. Technical, he's class. Just before I go to the next comments, Lee, JK, Eketier, would there be a yay or nay for us?
I like what I've seen, but I can't say I've seen enough. I haven't seen loads of them, so obviously what I have seen looks good because it's highlights of them. I've not seen match after match of them playing the full game, so I can't really judge him in the way I can. Some of the players who like Isak or Cunha, I've seen them play full games more than once. Ekitike, I haven't, but he does look decent. He looks a prospect. Maybe in a couple of years' time, then, if not right now.
JK, what about yourself? Eketier?
Same as Lee, I haven't really seen enough of him. I'm going to try and catch the Frankfurt game this week. Yeah, I'm going to try that against Tottenham, second leg. I might try and catch that on Thursday, yeah.
Cool. Should be a decent match, that, actually. Should be a decent game. Tottenham have got to turn up and put a performance on, haven't they, to get through. Only getting the draw in London gives them quite a lot to do, but they've got the players to do it. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but definitely got the players who can do it. Yeah,
but they lost 4-2 to Wolves, and for some reason, their manager don't play Porro, didn't play Kuvalevsky, Bentancur. he keeps a lot of guys on the bench. I realised that.
Mm.
Porro, like for me, Porro is a decent sort of guy. I wouldn't mind playing for Liverpool. He's all right. If we want to get a proper right back in, if they're just badly, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because he ain't really getting on. He ain't getting games. Porro, weird one.
I think what it is, JK. I think Porro he started well, but then he struggled in the run. He's quite poor, and then Jed Spencer was playing better than him. So I think at some point, so he kind of outs him out of the team. To be fair, well, obviously it's looks like it's maybe he'll get his chance again on Thursday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Steve says here Fagan did the treble. Yeah, actually watched the program. I've watched quite a few programs on LFC TV about Joe Fagan. Very interesting, and yeah, it's a shame what happened because you never know. But things happen in life, and but great. At least his one season was a season he'll never. Obviously,
You can't make with that.
It's in the record books. So
That was my favourite homecoming that year after that treble. It was only 11. I'd only just turned 11 in May of '84, but I remember going to town. It was night time, like it had gone dark. I don't know why it was night time. Yeah, it was weird that it was night time, but it had gone dark, and we all went to town, like on the bus, like hung around in town for a bit by St George's Hall. It was a good one, the homecoming for the treble.
A lot of people, I can imagine.
Exactly. Friends, school
That's what
friends
it's all
in there,
about.
Lee?
I remember when I come home, my mum and dad were watching Magnum on the telly. That's what I remember.
Oh,
about
Magnum
that.
PI?
Yeah, I think the treble homecoming in '84. We watch it. So every time I see that Mike Dass's avatar with Tom Selleck, it makes me laugh. It reminds me of the treble. Magnum reminds me of the treble, even though it's got nothing to do with it. It was just something that was on telly when I got home that night.
And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee with the mindset, the memory lane classics. Lee, don't worry, man. Me and JK, we're going to help you, mate, get that memory lane YouTube video because I think you could be educating some of the followers on this. So we'll get that sorted, Lee.
Okay.
Budweiser or Stella.
Trip down memory lane by Lee. That's what we'll call it.
Exactly, yeah. Lee's
was,
first memories.
Yeah, it was where we were. It was quite memorable. It's St George's Hall. It's right opposite like Lime Street Station. And my mate, he used to go climber, my mate, and he climbed up the buildings that are opposite to get so he could see them on the top deck better. But he was dead good climber, my mate. That was one of the things that stood out about it. Because I would never have climbed up where he climbed, because if you fell, you'd have been impaled on railings. There was railings underneath. And if you slipped and fell, he climbed up the side of the building because there's like ridges in the building that you can put, your fingers grip onto. And we used to do that at home. We used to climb a lot at home on the town hall. That has a similar building. But no way would I climb up where there was railings below where you could slip and end up impaled on them. No.
I mean, what's he doing now? Is he either in Hollywood or in prison?
I think he lives in Tuebrook. This guy, he moved to London or something. I think he lives in Tuebrook. I haven't seen him since I was a kid.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, Steve, all season. I said, you know what? This season, it's all about the points. I don't reckon us fans are going to really worry about how we play. But I think since the last few weeks that we've won the league, I think I'm a bit more concentrating in how we're playing. So it's sort of turned a little bit in that way. Yeah, for me, it's all about the 3 points, of course. But you just want to see our team play a bit better, because we've been really bad.
I didn't know that we signed Mike Robinson on the strength of that game. I remember the FA Cup final, Brighton Man United, 1983. And it went through a replay, and United won the replay 4-0. But so Brighton have had a good season under Hunter, haven't they? And I wouldn't have minded seeing a team like that win the FA Cup, Brighton or a Bournemouth, just a smaller Premier League team. So it was nice to see. Not nice to lose to Newcastle, but it was nice for Newcastle to get a trophy. And it would be ditto with the FA Cup. I'd like to see somebody, not one of the big teams, win it, if it's all possible. But it's good for the game.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think in the old days, you didn't really mind who won, but nowadays, I don't really want anyone to win. It's like, even if we're not playing in the
My heart hasn't totally hardened to other clubs. Not totally gone there. It has with some teams, like teams I detest. But there's still a football romantic in me where you want to see smaller teams occasionally do it because that's what football's all about, isn't it? You take that out the game, there's nothing left in it, is there?
I know
Same
what you
team
mean. I know what you
all
mean.
the time. That's why it's so good
Yeah.
to break up Man City's monopoly of the Premier League title. I mean, God, 4 years in a row. 4
We're
years.
the only ones who actually stood up against these guys, bro. They've won 6 in the last few years and stuff, and we've won that one a few years ago, and now we're going to win this one. So we're the only ones who have ever sort of fought against Man City, and that's embarrassing, bro. When you consider the amount of money United, Chelsea, even Arsenal have put in, they ain't really spent nothing, but we're the ones who compete and winning 2 Premier Leagues. So that's sort of I feel proud about that. That we as a team that don't spend nada. That's because of the owners and stuff. But still, the players stand up and sort of deliver, considering they don't get no additions to the squad to help them guys. You know, Virgil van Dijk, he's going to be big time happy if we get an Isaac in, for example, because why? Isaac, he knows Isaac's a good player. Every time we play Isaac against Liverpool, Van Dijk struggles. So if Van Dijk sees us getting a big striker in like that, it's going to make the rest of the players happy. You know what I mean? And I feel sometimes the owners let the players down, not the fans. Fuck the fans, bro. It's the players because the players want to play with better players, but they don't bring them in. I see football like that, bro.
Who's the final 4 in the FA Cup now? I forgot. I know City's one of them. Who's the other 3?
Forest.
Yeah,
Forest,
and Palace.
Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of them.
Palace.
Yeah, Palace would be a good one. It'd be a good thing for Palace. I remember them beating us in the semi in '90. If they hadn't, and we'd have played United in the final that year.
They're lucky. Should have won it. Yeah. Maybe we wouldn't have
Horrible.
seen Fergie. This is what I'm saying. That all games, it can just 90 minutes, a second or minute.
That
can change the directory of a game.
That is the word out there that Alex Ferguson was due to be sacked, but winning the FA Cup,
he was.
He spared the axe. Like
Matt Robbins scored, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbins, isn't it? Yeah, that waste man. But yeah,
it was right and bright up front for Palace, and Jeff Thomas players like that. I think he won after a replay in the United, if I remember correctly. I think it was a replay, and Mark Robbins scored the winner to get Fergie off and running on the trophy hunt. Then he won the Rumbelows Cup in '92, the League Cup.
Rumbelows, oh god.
It sounds funny, doesn't it? The Rumbelows Cup.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, no, it's one of the less sponsors that you'd want to have the name attached to it. But then you got the leagues in '93, and everything just changed, didn't it? One thing I did realise in that period, long before the internet, there was a documentary on BBC about grassroots Sunday League football. Now, obviously, all these guys play in grassroots, and that they all supported clubs, and there was a load of Man United fans on it. And I think that was on in about, I think it was 1996. They were just about to complete their second double in like 3 years, and they were more made up that Liverpool got knocked out the FA Cup that season by Spurs. Jurgen Klinsmann scored the winner, and all these United fans were going crazy about it, going, yes, Jurgen, oh man, Jurgen. It's like, you bastards, you're about to win the double for the second. You're winning everything at the moment, and you're more concerned about us. That way, it sort of dawned on me then, like, just how much of a rival Man United are, because that sort of drove it home to me that they were more pleased that Liverpool got knocked out the FA Cup than they were about to like win it. You know what I mean? It meant more to them that we were knocked out.
And the funny thing is, their fans have had enough of Almiron already.
Oh,
so I've seen some things today that like we're worse off with Almiron than we've ever been. He's lost a lot of games in the Premier League.
It'd be hard to judge him because he come in halfway through the season, but I mean, you can understand their fears. When you look at them, you don't see that good a side, do you? Considering the amount of money they've spent in the years leading up to where we are now. But they've just had too many managers, haven't they? They've changed manager a lot of times, like in recent years, and it's not working for them. So if they do it again, who's to say it's going to work next time? I think they'd be better off sticking with Amarin personally, but it's not been easy for them this half season that he's come in for.
You know when a manager's good, it's when he ends up staying at a club for 5 years. You know he's doing something worthwhile. You know what I mean, bro? These guys are getting big jobs, big contracts, big pay. Look at Potter, for example. Potter went to Chelsea, set up for life, bro. The quality of managers has gone downhill big time. Big time, man.
Yeah, that was one of the worst moves of all for me, replacing Tuchel with Potter when they did, because he'd only just won them the Champions League, which is something they'd only won once before that. Like, that just wasn't good enough for Todd Bowley, because I remember his words when he come in. He said, "I think it's time of due a change." Well, I didn't actually say it. I just read the words. He said, "It's time for a change." Okay. But then it's gone really bad for them, hasn't it? Since they got rid of Tuchel, it's gone from like bad to worse since they got rid of Tuchel.
He's the boss of England now. He's at every game. He goes to a lot of games to watch players and stuff. But I'm just like really surprised that England got a German manager, and just like, whoa, it makes sense, does it?
Yeah, I've sort of lost interest a lot in international footy as I've got older. I used to be a lot more excited and enthusiastic about it. But if he can do the business, then it's good luck to him. We've had Capello, didn't we, for a while? His relationship with the British footballing media was funny. Capello used to make me laugh because he used to get rattled quite a lot. Like I liked his narky face. Capello used to make me laugh because our media can be a bunch of twats, like to put it mildly, and ask really like impertinent questions sometimes, like. Because Capello come with such a rep, didn't he? Like, and I was made up. And I was like, yeah, Fabio Capello, go ahead. But he never got on with the British football media from the get-go, really, Fabio Capello. I think.
But look at the German. The Germans don't get no guy who's not German to be their manager. It's like a law they have. You know what I mean? Like England, they've got Italians, German now. Yeah.
It was a big deal when they went and got a foreigner to do the job, and it was a big deal, like in Britain. In England, sorry, not the rest of Britain, but it was a big thing because it's not been done before. It was.
I think Ericsson was probably the first, no?
Yeah,
Or a manager.
It's less of a big deal
Yes,
now,
it
isn't it?
was.
Like we're 20 years on from there now, 20 odd years on from there now, and you're not surprised now when you see that. But at the time, yeah, it was a big deal for them to hire a
No,
non-English
yeah, because English
manager.
managers, in it. Yeah. I think at the time, Redknapp should have would, but again, politics again.
Yeah.
It's like governments, yeah. Politics kept him out, but it's not surprising, is it? It's not even it's his life, isn't it?
There's
When you're
loads
doing
of
the
guys.
hierarchies,
England
politics
boss.
will happen.
Yeah, Brian Clough should have been England boss at some point. Like,
Yeah.
I think after like his.
I didn't like Klopp. I didn't like Klopp.
After his, I liked him. I used to like him until he said that shit about Hillsborough. But I did used to buzz off him because he was a funny pundit. He used to make me laugh, Brian Clough, when I was a kid, some of the stuff he said. But I think he was drinking heavily, wasn't he, towards the end of his life? And maybe made a few statements about Hillsborough that would have been best kept to himself. But I felt a bit sorry for Nigel Clough because he had to play here then, like, you know what I mean? And he was asked about it a couple of times. What do you think of what your dad said? It wasn't him that said it. Give the guy a break.
Yeah, it's nice to see Anfield respect the 97 for the game and stuff as well. Nice. Newcastle fans were the West Ham fans were sound as well. During that silence, so
Yeah,
in
what's
peace to all them
scary about
brothers.
the whole thing was how easily the fake narrative was set up that it was our fans that caused the problems. Like when it was nothing of the sort, it was the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
It was the authorities that caused the problems. But yeah, just how quickly that all swung up and got into action. There's even footage of Thatcher at the time where she turned up or something like to like flowers or some shit. Someone says, "Is there going to be a cover up, Prime Minister?" And she went, "Cover up? No, no. There won't be. There will be no cover up."
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all right.
Mad times. That.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool as a club have been through it with a few sort of things that have happened and stuff like that. We got through them. Yeah, that was it's true. The speed of the cover up story, like they were working on that straight away. Questions asked, man. Like that just shows you the way the world is regarding politics and stuff. They'll use it for any means. When it comes to football, for me now, is a platform for agenda-driven nonsense. It ain't about the game no more. When you really look at it, bro. If they're doing that with us in the 80s, with Thatcher and stuff like that, what they're going to be doing now? And you can see it with all these agendas they use with football. It's just a platform for me. Football's the biggest thing in the world. So it's a perfect way to promote certain things, even if you don't agree with them and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Brian Clough did make me laugh originally, like as a kid. I remember a couple of times just the comments he made were really funny, like, and he was a funny man actually. Like, as I say, though, it was quite well known that he was drinking heavily towards the end of his life, and it's no big deal. It's not illegal, is it? Like some people have drink problems, like in life. But he did go on a little bit too much, like about Hillsborough. But anyway, move on.
Yeah.
Would have been a good England boss, as I said. When he should have left Forest was when that European Cup winning side ran out of juice and he wasn't able to replace them players. That's when he should have managed England then, I think, after he's already done that with Forest. But yeah, politics kept him out of the job because he was a loud man. He was kept out of the job. England tended to pick quiet men as managers, like, and Brian Clough was not a quiet man. He's not a man that could be controlled in that sense, like, you know what I mean?
That's true. I'll quickly just run through these comments while we just carry on. Steve, if Klopp was still here, Cunha would be Firmino 2.0. And then he goes on about Jones, again, taking too many needless touches on the ball. Today, again, he will never change. I know what you mean.
It's something that was a lot more apparent in his game a couple of seasons ago, that he would take too many touches. He started to improve that aspect of his game. But he has got such a delicious touch. Like, is one of the things with him, and I can see why he likes to grab the ball and shield it sometimes and keep hold of the bloody thing, because he's got so much ability on the ball. I love watching him sometimes. Like, obviously he's a local lad, like, and I get a kick out of that as well. But I got a kick out of seeing him perform really well for the England under-21s when that Gabby Veiga hacked him down, because Curtis was like styling it in midfield like all game, and then he got hold of the ball and he wouldn't let it go. Like, he kept hold of it for ages, and that Gabby Veiga got pissed off with him, just chopped him down. But it was funny, but it was also like heartening, you know what I mean? It was like, that's one of ours there. That's a local lad doing it.
But for me, though, look at that first half we had against West Ham. I think Jones playing instead of Szoboszlai helped us. I think Jones' first half was sound. The midfield looked better. We just looked better first half, and that, God knows what happened second half. But for me, Szoboszlai comes on the pitch. What did he do, Van? Like, come on, man. You know the drill there. Got to keep it tight. And I think Nalante was saying on the 12-man show about how we allow too many guys to run through us. It's like embarrassing, man. Embarrassing.
Yeah,
Steve, so like, it is, you know what I mean? Nalante, like the
man.
amount of games, like mans are running through like open all hours.
That's
You know what
running
I mean?
through. Exactly. You know, like you
Like,
open wide, you go through the hole. I mean, any hole's a goal. Pause, but
oh,
yeah,
an opportunity, bro. Like today,
exactly.
like they had a few opportunities to actually score or move through more goals, and I'm thinking that's because of the midfield. That big gap there. Hence why I say even if like Norman, we need a proper DM, bro. I'm ready to push Bramovich into the 8, McAllister on the other side, whatever. But for me, we need a proper DM. And there's not many out there who you can say, yeah, I'll get him in, I'll get him. And DM is very important for us because of the way we play football, you know. And then league tells us this about Mike Robertson had a good TV career in Spain after he played in
Yeah, he
Spain.
did.
Yeah, he learnt the lingo well and ended up as an anchorman on Spanish footy shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he become really fluent in Spanish and was able to get a good career in the media off the back of it. Because I don't think he was here that long, Robinson, but when he did leave, he was able to get a move to Spain. Like many of our players did. He went to Spain, John Aldridge went to Spain, loads of. But yeah, he was able to be a TV personality over there with the football and that, like, which is a good one. He did play a good part that season when we won the treble, because Kenny went off injured in Rome in the European Cup final, and Robbo was his replacement, and he done well. And he was good that season anyway. He scored a hat-trick that season away to West Ham. That was tasty. And he was a decent forward, Mike Robinson. Big, big, tall, strong centre forward type. But yeah, he was good, Mike Robinson.
Yeah, only disciplined Nunes after Nunes told him he was going to score a hat trick today. And yeah, Steve Robbo passed on. He played a decent role for us at the short time he was there. It's true, bro. Okay, and bless up Dara. Hope you're cool, bro. Thoughts on Dom today? Trophies for me.
Dara, jump on, man. Are you free, Dara? Jump on.
Why don't you say what you think, Dara? Just,
Nah, but it's
he
true, you know.
He was pretty poor, like, yeah. Atrocious, maybe a little bit too far, but yeah, he was pretty poor, which basically is the same thing, isn't it? More or less. So, yeah, I agree with you.
You're coming on a sub. Your place has been taken by Curtis. Show us why you want your place back for the next game. Come on.
It's been a weird one with Dom because we thought he'd sort of crossed the line, sort of got there with his form, and started like scoring, assisting regularly, and now he's just faded off. But I think it's the amount of football he's played, the amount of minutes he's been asked to play by Slot, which is not the lad himself's fault, is it? This is Slot's fault for playing him too much. I thought the same with Grav. I thought Grav looks better now after a little bit of rest, but Grav was looking tired as well. A few of them have just played too many minutes in this season because of Slot's refusal to use certain other players for more often for a longer time, to give these players the rest that they need and deserve to be able to perform at their best when we need them at their best. But yeah, he has faded off in recent weeks. There's no doubt about that. He's looked pretty ineffectual in a number of matches now, hasn't he, Dom?
Worrying.
Very.
But for me, I don't know if you guys will agree. His engine has not been used to the running he's doing in Liverpool. He's doing more running at Liverpool than he's done in his whole life, and it's been a big culture shock to him. He's a player, bro. He hangs around, gets a little flick here, there, and there, bangs the ball from the outside the box into the goal, free kicks, this and the other. But at Liverpool, it's a different ball game, and I don't think he's sort of maybe built for Liverpool. Could I say that? So, Nalante, what do you think?
It's a tricky one. Dom, look, man, Dom, it's hard because you know what with Dom, right? Start of last season, he came in. He was for the first 3 months, he was excellent, and obviously, your neighbor, Mr. Khan, well, apparently he said he in jest was giving the Hungarian Steven Gerrard, which there's no need to say that, He just had a good start. He's blazing and a good start. He thought, okay, cool, and he just fell off. And then this season, the way pre-season, the way Elliot was talking, I thought Elliot would have got the start, but he got injured. He got an opportunity, and he was okay without playing, that defining game. And then all of a sudden, from Christmas to about the end of January, he was good. Sobol picked up getting assists. And it wasn't about the scores and assists, which are key, but he was driving. He was doing what he does for Hungary. He was driving, and all of a sudden he's revert back to type, and he's just been not great. Just and he deserves his pension day. But what annoys me is that, not annoyed, but the Jones 10 he should stop, and Jones weren't great today either.
Jones?
Yeah, because he weren't great today.
I think first half sound. I think we played pretty good. Midfield just looked a bit better, Gravenberch. But second half, bro, collapse. Like, off them in. Free buffet for everyone, you know what I mean?
I needed a bit more, and he didn't. For me, it was just too easy. It was just Jones wanted to be more proactive with the ball, which he wasn't. So I think, like I said, the time is now. The time is Harvey's, but it's not going to happen. And,
No.
and yeah,
I'm reasonably confident that Dom can have a better season next season for the whole season. If we make signings and we don't play him all the time, so he doesn't have to, because we've seen in a couple of matches where he's looked knackered at the end. So I'm reasonably confident he can turn this dip in form round and get back to where he was. Do you remember our first Hungarian midfielder, a blast from the past, István Kozma? Do you remember him? Graham Souness bought him from Dunfermline when Graham Souness came here.
Graham.
He was bloody rubbish. István Kozma. He only played about not long. He didn't play many minutes, but he wasn't up to standard. István Kozma. That's a terrible mullet as well. But he was our initial Hungarian midfield star for £300,000 from Dunfermline.
Oh, it's good money.
And Steve tells us, I dislike the investors in NFC called Cheap Broke FSG since 2011. Put it this way, if we don't dibble dabble in the transfer market this coming transfer window coming up in the summer, and then we end up keeping the same players, majority of them, stop don't play them again, and we end up having the same old bullshit again this time of the season where we're sort of deflated. Happened in the last 2 seasons now. So for me, we've got to really be serious about next season. how we can endure 4 title cup competitions to win them. But really sort our manager out, tell him to show a bit of faith in the squad. It's all about squad. I don't care. You got your first 11. Don't get me wrong. But for me, football is a squad game. We've got 5 subs every game. And I think I don't really understand Slot's sort of stubbornness. And I can't really see our owners going big this summer in the transfer window. What do you guys think?
I just hope we have a good summer, whatever happens in the summer. I was saying to Nolanti before, it'd take an absolute gaff from the people in charge of Liverpool to mess it up from where we are now. So to win the title like this with a below par squad, which I think we all agree it's a bit below par, the squad for the requirements. For them to mess it up from here in the summer, it would take staggering ineptitude, but that can always happen in football. But surely, in the name of all that's holy, they will have identified the players that we need. And as I said before, I'm not expecting us to buy the most expensive players, the ones that everybody wants. I'm just expecting us to identify the right players for the right fees, and hopefully that's all already been done. I'm hoping that's already done, that the players have already been identified, and then once the transfer window gets underway, we'll be on it like a car bonnet and buy the players that we need for next season so we can retain the title this time, or at least have a bloody good go at it. Hi, Dara.
How you doing?
Hi, Dara.
All right,
All good, man. All good.
Man.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm wearing a special shirt for you all.
Lovely t-shirt. I love it. I was just about to comment. Swell t-shirt, that, mate.
Can you see what it says?
Keep calm. I hate United. I like that.
Nice, Dara. Nice. Good t-shirt.
Should have put 4-1. 4-1 to the, against Newcastle, man.
It should have been. It should have been 7.
Yeah.
They're poor, man. They are really bad. Wow. Mason Mount. Christian Eriksen's getting games for these guys, man.
Gosh, I forgot about him. Is he still going, Mason Mount? I've actually forgot about him. He's been absent for that long. But he did actually look a good player when Chelsea were last a half-decent side and won the Champions League. He looked a good player in that squad, didn't he, Mason Mount?
Mm-hmm.
He did. He got a conversion today. It was that far over the bar.
three
England,
points.
England were him, Mount, and Dele Alli were like the future of England. Like them two guys were always playing for England. And look what's happened to both of them, man. That's really bad. Like for me, I don't want Mount to be a top player for United, but at the end of the day, the deterioration of them two guys after being so good. Like for me, Dele Alli should have been a Liverpool player. Supported Liverpool. I think he came to Liverpool to actually sign for us or something. He ended up going to Tottenham. But for me, it's a bit sad about him and how players deteriorate. It's really mad. I think he was Chelsea's highest earner as well, Mount. He was on top wages.
Yeah, careers can end fairly quickly and unexpectedly sometimes for players after they've looked the absolute business, which both him and Dele Alli did at certain points in their career, and now he's faded away, haven't they? Remains to be seen if he's got a future under Amarin next season. But yeah, actually, when you mentioned him, it's the first time I'd heard his name in ages.
He came on as sub in the last few games, Mount. So he just looks jaded. His aura. You know what I mean? He just looks like
Have they still got Luke
know.
Shaw? He's still going, is he? Is he still going?
No. I think he's still injured. He's been injured like majority of the season.
Because he cost the arm and a leg, didn't he, when they bought him off Southampton, Luke Shaw? Just goes to show, how easily money can be wasted in football. Like we were just talking about our own potential signings in the summer, and that would take an idiot to mess it up. I mean, maybe I'm going too far there, but Do you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, it shouldn't take a lot of effort to find the players we need for this summer, because there's players everywhere. There's good players everywhere. You just got to find them, got to identify them.
Well, you won't find them over here. Well, according to Pochettino, who's going to make the US national team World Cup winners within 10 years, maybe that's not true. What an absurd thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard him say that, but yeah.
No, I've not heard that. No, it'd be some effort if we can manage that for them. Like,
That's like
yeah,
living in America, that James Brown song. That's what it does to people.
it is. Yeah, just like he made Spurs Champions League winners and Premier League winners, and he's going to do the same thing. But
mate, that's the best bit of Rocky 3, Living in America by James Brown, because I love James Brown. Like, so it was just
yeah,
yeah. That was the best bit.
that was the best of the. I think how many Rockies were there? 5.
5.
Yeah. Just quickly back on the game. So, who was your man of the match? For me, it was Allison.
Mhm.
Allison closely followed by Diaz, and I know it was given to Salah, but I thought outstanding saves, kept us in it.
Kept us in it. Yeah.
It was worrying how much we took our foot off the gas in the second half, wasn't it, Dara? It was a concern to see them have chance after chance.
Absolutely, and it's okay if you take your foot off the gas, but then at least switch to electric. But we weren't even coal fired, and when Dom came on, I think you alluded to it earlier on. I mean, just running down the middle. I mean, even if you have to bring the fella down, he was backing off. It was embarrassing to see. Embarrassing. So we were playing with 10 men.
True. And like in the last week alone, Dara, I've been moaning about Szoboszlai. I don't moan about players. Never. I don't do that. But for me, Szoboszlai, I've got to moan about him because for me, he costs good money. And what is he actually doing? I'm thinking, is he daydreaming half the time? I know he got married recently, this, that, and the other, and stuff. Like things happen in life, you got to take care of them and stuff. But I think he ain't a concentrated lad.
I would rather have his wife play. I really would.
I'd rather have his gardener play. You know what I mean, bro?
I mean, what happened to this Duracell bunny that it used to be?
the battery's low, bro.
I-
It's been used too much, and I knew it was going to come one day because the amount of running he's done for Liverpool in the last 2 seasons, he never did that at Leipzig or for Hungary. This
Yeah.
is military. This is military stage now. He's not used to it. He's a flair player. He likes them little play the flair game. So he's not really a fighter. Like he didn't get stuck in, bro, as well. Have you noticed? He loses a lot of sort of challenges that are near him. He didn't come out with the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of. I said this when he came. Klopp is he wants you to run. There's no ifs or buts with that. If you're playing in midfield, Klopp's going to make you run all game. So
Yeah.
last season, battered Szoboszlai. He's thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? This is hard bloody work. This season, he got better with it. And then all of a sudden now, he's back into that phase again where he can't handle it no more. So I
Yeah.
think these 2 seasons, it's going to be a good thing for his engine, looking at the bigger picture. Hopefully, next season, he's like used to it now. Like, I can play at this level, this pace for longer than what I've been doing. It's worrying though for me. Szoboszlai's form.
Yeah. Well, there were a few things that were worrying for me, but like you said, it's all about the 3 points. So I'm not really that concerned. And what did we think about the starting lineup? Not that much rotation, really. I'm amazed. What was Chiesa injured?
Ah,
He was what?
God
Sorry.
knows.
Oh,
Like for me, like what has that guy done wrong? What's he done?
yeah, because Mo was anonymous, wasn't he, in the second half? So I
Yeah.
and was Elliot on the bench?
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing.
No. Yeah.
Nothing. Him, Chiesa. Yeah. Just what do you think about the Darwin situation? Do you reckon he was ill? Or
No,
was he just dropped for
no,
disciplinary?
yeah, there's more to it than that. In a game like that, when we had not really that many options, let's be honest, Jota was non-existent in the first half.
Again.
I mean,
Yeah.
an
For the 10th
embarrassment
time.
again.
Mm.
Embarrassing. And if you're that stubborn and you're trying to set an example, which is a worrying theme with Slot, to the detriment of the team, then we've got some issues because Gakpo is still not up to speed. So,
Mhm.
you know, when we look back at history where we've had certain players that have been arrested and they've been released on bail pending rape allegation charges. A certain player for Sunderland, I won't name him, but one in particular.
Yeah.
They still, maybe not in that case, but it just goes to show how extreme some people are in terms, some clubs are in terms of, well, we'll still play this player because he's kind of our star player. I can't think that, I don't see how Nunes could have got injured. And if he's not injured, it has to be something to do with discipline. I know he's been saying some things in the press, and you know I understand that, but really, I would rather have had him because Jota was just well. I mean, I was looking for him, I couldn't find him.
I thought he was playing for
I
West
think you
Ham.
still find him in the mean streets of Lisbon, Dara. He's still there.
Is
He's
he
still there trying to find his way.
right? You know, I have my contacts. I'm pretty good at finding people, but you know, this
This is one
bastard,
person you got.
I couldn't find this bastard. I tell you. Tell you, he was like the Scarlet Pimpernel. The Scarlet Pimpernel he was. So,
They seek him here, they seek him there, they seek the elusive Pimpernel everywhere.
yeah. So and that bloody Kudos. I mean, he looked like Adama Traore in his prime on steroids. You know, he should have been in the WWE. The way he was shaking off our players, that was just a sight to behold. So,
Embarrassing.
it was. It was.
Embarrassing. Where's the fight? Where's the midfield fight and bang and the guy? Like for me, I like Gramovich, top player, this that, and the other. But for me, he's no DM. He's
No,
not
it's
that guy
not.
who's gonna go stuck in.
No,
And
he's done well,
McAllister
but
gets stuck
yeah,
in more. McAllister
And,
gets stuck in
McAllister
more than
again.
anyone.
and one thing that
Defensively,
struck me,
awareness.
one thing that struck me is Konate just seems to get sloppier and sloppier.
Dara, if I speak, in the words of Jose Mourinho, there'll be trouble.
Well,
So it's not.
it's your platform. So I came on to hear you speak, and hopefully you came on to hear me speak. But
No.
I'm
Go for it, Dara. No, we've gone. I'm
I mean, he's
listening.
been on a downward
Spiral.
slide for a while, and the from innocuous positions, he has put us in very, very compromising positions, and we don't have the kind of midfield that can make up for his errors, and that's an issue, and it just seems to be more and more prevalent, and I agree with you, it's been going on for a while. So this is all nonsense about him being the one of the best, him and VVD being one of the best partnerships. Well, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that at all. On the strength of what? I'm not seeing consistency, and it's alarming. And we saw the same thing today. And I don't understand the passing the ball back. Not back in the day when you taught when you go to school and you pass the ball in front of people so they run onto it. The amount of times we're passing the ball behind people so they have to check their runs. Just basic shit. What is going on? And yeah, that was really frustrating for me. But I have to say, it was great to see some raking passes from VVD. Some amazing passes. He's still got it in his locker. But
Yep.
what did you
Happy
think about
got the
that?
winner.
Yeah. Do you think that was a foul leading up to it though?
Nah, 6 and 1, half a dozen. It happens in every penalty box 1,000 times,
No, no,
1,001 times
no.
in a game.
The build up on our right when who was it who got shoved in the back to win the corner in the first place prior to winning the corner. So
Oh, the header.
Collector was
You mean
involved,
for
wasn't
West Ham?
yeah, it
he?
was
Yeah, he got
there.
a corner there, didn't he?
What,
Yeah, we won a
Wan-Bissaka?
corner from it.
Okay,
I forget who it was. It was a shove in the back, and they looked at it. VAR looked at it. I mean, it was fairly soft, but I've seen them given.
I think it was Paqueta. I think it's Paqueta actually. I think I know
Right.
what you're talking about. Yeah. Paqueta.
Well, he spent most of the time on the grass anyway, didn't he? So
Yeah,
He's not my
Yeah,
cup of
he
tea,
was
but
eating
he's a good
grass.
player,
Yeah,
but he's not. For me,
yeah, but
Kudos, Arnie Slot sort of bigged him up in
good.
the press conference, like him and Paqueta sort of causing us problems, and they could even play for Liverpool. He said that. He was like, weird how he said it. Like for me, if we had a Kudos in that position he plays instead of a Szoboszlai, we can do more damage. It's all about fight. And for me, Szoboszlai ain't got that fight. Say like a Kudos maybe has all that desire to play at a higher level. Would you take Kudos, Nalante? I know you would because he's from your land. 100%, I'll take Kudos. I would have took him from Ajax personally back in the days, but we're half asleep again. Yeah, but fair play to him. Fair play to him.
I'm still waiting to hear Nalante's view on Kanate.
Oh, you want my view, Darren? My view
Absolutely, I do.
Darren, my view with Ibu is simply like this: he gets away with murder, and a lot of fans bypass his mistakes. Let's just put it that way. They focus on others, and yes, Kwanzaa, even Joey to an extent. When Joey had his awful season 22-23 when we weren't great, the nice were out. He's not good enough. He's rubbish. He's dead. And then last season, he's not good enough, Ibu. But Ibu gets away with it. It's only now people, but he's been doing that since day one. And like, don't get me wrong, Ibu's a good defender. He's not crap. Don't get me wrong. And up until his injury, him and VVD, they were on par. They were on form. Probably maybe the best Europe. But my question is, well, I can fight it back to you and panel with yourself, Dara. What does Ibu do that Joey can't do? What is the big difference? And I know, and I'm a Joey guy, but I'll be real. If he's better, if he's clear, then he's clear. But what is it so special about Ibu that Joey can't do?
Nothing. Gomez is
Yep.
for me the better player in terms of not only can he play left back, right back. He great at centre half. The only difference that I see is that Ibu, on his day, is better at taking the ball out of defence and driving forward. He does that better. Or I've seen more of that than I have with Joey G. That doesn't mean that Gomez can't do it. I haven't seen him do it. So, but no, I would have Gomez over Kanate any day. So that kind of caught me out. That kind of caught me out the as they say, left field. So, but he's not available, and that's an issue.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's it.
Why? Who's making a comparison? Are people making comparisons between the two? Because
Well, a bit there. It's just my opinion. It's just because everyone rates Ibu highly. A lot of our fans on social media, like, oh, he's one of the best centre backs in Europe, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Which, yeah, on his day, yeah, but I just don't think he's nothing that I can't see Joey to do. If Kwanzaa was on form, if Kwanzaa was on his last season's form, not saying that Kwanzaa is, Kwanzaa could do a job. So I just don't see the big hoo-ha. That's just my opinion,
one of the
Might be the
best
French.
in Europe. One of the best. Who's
Oh
saying that?
yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
must be spending too much time in these jails. Because even some of these inmates wouldn't come up with something as nonsensical as that.
Dara,
I'm a
this
fan of it, Boo, but he is overhyped a bit, isn't he? Like, he's not.
I think so, Lee. And again, yeah, he's not dismissing the player because none of us are saying he's wrong. Like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see where people say, "Oh, he's your levels above." And again, it's all hypothetical because unfortunately he gets injuries of Joey. Yeah, he's better than Kwanzaa, but Kwanzaa for me still has more to his. There's still a ceiling for Kwanzaa to reach. And again, right now unfortunately he's in a predicament. It is down to Slot whether he trusts him or not to get back to that. How he started, when he came in like a whirlwind and he had a great second half of the season. But this is the thing, and it's down to our manager, Dara. And as me, JK, and says, and again, this is the battle, and we've had one idiot, Dara. I don't know. I did mention him. Probably weren't on the chat. Called Red Rebellion. And I'm calling out people because I like to do it. Not out of disrespect. I just don't like disrespect. So we were on 12's channel, and obviously I think it was the Fulham game, and then obviously we had our pints. We criticized Slot for certain things, which you do, like I said, Dara. We give Slot praise when there's praise, and there's criticism, like any football fan. And obviously and he's not the only, big up Pops as well, and again, not Pops, because Pops, we disagree on quite a few things recently, but it's all respectful.
Likewise.
Yeah, but exactly, Dara. But you and your battles with Max, some entertaining battles.
Well, Matt, it is pure entertainment. There's nothing empirical about it. You don't go beyond, skin deep. But carry on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just opinions in it. But with this Red Rebellion, so basically, he mentioned 12 in terms of the numbers he has on his channels. He's been a bit disrespectful. You only got X amount of numbers, and again. And there's some fans, in basics and social media, it's like, why are we criticizing? We're going to win the league 2020. This is ridiculous. It's negative. And me, JK, we've said it. Yes, of course. Once we mathematically the game's over, won the league, we're all going to celebrate. But doesn't mean Slot is immune to criticism. Doesn't mean he's not immune. I mean, look, let's face it. Look, we had 2 games where the games were there. We could have won the Carabao Cup. We could have been right now playing Villa right now. And again, yes, we win the league. Happy days, but. And again, this is my opinion, and I've said this: Slot's arrogance cost us in both games because, people talking about 11-man and he's 40-man. We know this, though. We know this. This is football. You need a squad. This is a squad game. They play 65 certain games. Regardless of that, if you don't use these players, then it's going to be to the detriment of the club. And luckily, we started the season well enough to have a position. Plus, Arsenal keep dropping points, so he has the backup. But again, when you've got people like Endo, Jones, don't look whether we rate them or not. That's for me. That's not the point. The point is they've all got body of work. They've all done bits for us in certain games since they've been. So why not use them? And even if he doesn't fancy them, like even Chiesa, even if you don't fancy him, rotate them, use them because they can do a job for a game or two. And then at the end of the season, thanks, but I'm moving on. Simple does. But again, Dara, because obviously JK and Lee know. For me, he just went a bit arrogant and played the same team. And you can see, and I've seen this since the start of the year. The team have been running on fuels. You can tell that you needed a rotation or rest. Even Mo was good for about a half in the second half. Again, anonymous. Look, sometimes you just need to change it up. You need to change it up and bring some freshness into the team, and then let these players just resettle out of form, take a minute, and then go again. But he didn't do that, and it cost us in 2 cup competitions.
By the way, Plymouth are going down, so yeah. I mean, even if he didn't start them, he could have compromised. So give him 45 minutes rather than 5 minutes, and just build on that. Just build it up slowly. But no, I agree. There are certain games where I think like the Southampton game springs to mind. Maybe we got lucky there with Mo, but it worked out. But today, and I would say probably the 4 previous games or 3 previous games, he probably didn't deserve to start, and others. So he is stubborn. There's no two ways about it. But he has that charm offensive, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he seems to use that in his favor. It does work for the club, but people that know the game can see what's going on, and he can get away with it, and that's unfortunate. So I was expecting Endo to start today, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I was, and I think he would have been a good asset considering the Grand Canyon-sized hole we had in our midfield. Normally it's just the tourists that fall over the edge. So, maybe maybe most of the West Ham team haven't been to the Grand Canyon, and they thought, well, we'll just go through, peek over the edge. Oh, look, there's
Yeah.
Allison. There's Allison at the bottom. Let's have a shot.
That's a good assessment. I like that. Yeah, the Grand Canyon is definitely open for
It's open for business today. Discount prices. Easter Sunday. Bring your
Exactly.
family. Bring your family.
At the end of the Grand Canyon, you get some Budweiser or Stella, courtesy of
Well,
Lee.
I tell you what, Dom was giving them enough time so they could stop and take fucking photographs. Come on, lads, let's get a group photo.
That's true. Listen, at the end of the whistle, JK was so fed up, mate. He was like, you know what, Dom, get off, mate. I'll put my he had his Adidas Predators on. JK is that's how much fed up JK was.
Oh my word. Where were you going to play, JK? Tell us.
Number 10, bro. I would
Number
just
10.
like come. If you give me his engine, because like the guy can run around, don't get me wrong, but for me, he's missing the philosophy of football. Like, get the ball and score goals, set up goals. Like, why are you running for? I don't understand it.
Well, where are the tacklers in our team?
Alistair, he's the only guy.
But you can only do so much. That's the problem.
Yep,
It's
exactly. bro.
defensive
But do you really
awareness.
want someone like Macca getting stuck in like that? That's the thing.
We really need a midfielder, don't we? A defensive midfielder, someone who can win the ball and also use the ball enough for slots like him, because obviously Endo cannot do that. Cannot use the ball as enough for slots like him. He obviously thinks play at start and end in a game that we lose some of our whatever it is that he thinks we are as a side. He thinks with Endo starting, it's just not there. So we obviously need a player in that position who could play both alongside and with Gravenberch at different times. We do need a tackler, don't we? We need someone.
We do. I mean, if you think about the last couple that we've had, I know, let's say Thiago, for example. Okay, I don't even know why he was thought of as that being part of his game, and the same with Endo. There's one thing tackling, but every single time, literally, you give away a free kick in a dangerous area. So there's tackling and there's tackling. I mean, anyone can just stop somebody. However, well, Dom couldn't today, but that's a different story. But generally, you can. But the key is obviously not giving away a free kick, and Endo does that time and time again. Jones, you just don't know. Sometimes he seems to be in the tackle, but most of the time he seems to be lightweight. We really don't have a tackler. Probably Diaz. He's probably one of our best tacklers, who, by the way, he had a decent game, so I'll give him credit for that. So, but yeah, we definitely do. We need somebody that can put their foot in and win the ball. Because I know it's difficult now, because you just breathe on somebody and it's a free kick, but we are blatantly late when we try and engage, and teams are just going to get more and more physical against us when we can't counter it.
Indeed. No, I agree, Dara. Just going to read some of the comments out here. Steve says, again, he likes his little discussions with Lee. At Lee, you want small clubs to win trophies. You want Everton to lift the trophy. Hell no.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I agree, Lee. I don't think he'll be there.
I was thinking more
Okay.
Bournemouth or Brighton in the FA Cup was where it was coming from with that one.
Okay. Some comments from you, Dara, earlier before you came on here about Cloughie.
Oh yeah, the Don Revie interview. Yes.
Yeah, don't remember that. Yeah.
That was a classic.
Seen that? I'm not sure I've seen that.
Oh, he put Cloughie in his place.
Oh.
Indeed, he did.
I'll have to look for that. I'll have to do a search for that. Would he
Oh,
both
yeah.
just be both on telly, were he? Yeah, and John Reevy sort of had a little spar with him, bit of a verbal spar with him, did he?
He did, and let's put it this way: I've never seen old Cloughie go so sheepish as he did. It was glorious to see. So I'll let you carry on reading out your comments, and I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. So when's Kevin De Bruyne coming to us? Because I don't know whose podcast it was talking about KDB coming to us, and what a great move that would be for us.
Yeah, funny enough. Actually, hold that thought, Dara.
I will.
Just hold that thought. I'll just read these quick comments and we'll get back to that. Hold that thought. So then we'll discuss that. Abdul says, "Hi everyone, how are you all? Like, big up yourself, Abdul. God bless you, Abdul. Hope you well. Abdul keeps contributing. Yes, like he said, the last bit, 100%. Abdul says again, that guy Red Rebellion criticized me on different channels saying I'm a troll. They hide behind the camera and doesn't put his name on YouTube. Facts, Abdul. You're right. And you're a good guy, Abdul. You know what I mean? I think it might be the same person that tried to say no, it's on another channel, I think. But I remember you're a good guy. You're a real one, Abdul. So big up yourself. So yeah, definitely, man. You won't be welcome here. Definitely. And Abdul says, thank you for criticizing, breakdown, analysis, and review on Kanate, Sobo, Robertson, Diaz, Jota, and Nunes. Some sections of the LFC community don't talk about certain players in the squad. Facts. And yeah, this is what it is. And my thing is that unfortunately with some of the fans, it's Player FC, not Liverpool FC. No player, and again, no player for me is bigger than the club. And and unfortunately, some of the fans have these things about not criticizing. But anyway, we move. That's fine. That's part of football. But yeah. Anyway, back Daro. Yeah, sorry. What were you mentioning before?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's
KDB, isn't it? Yes, that was
yes,
it. KDB. Yes.
I popped in for a little bit, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Mhm.
But everyone's entitled to their opinion. But the thought of KDB coming to us, which was the question, what we got to lose, track record, and so on and so forth. Even if he's just on the bench, he would be a good asset. So it was just along those lines. And my argument was that not just the age, not just the injuries. More importantly, would he want to come anyway? And if you look at the last 2 years, all right, he's got enough appearances in, but what has he really done? I think when was it? 2022 season? Was it 23? Where he had, I think, 14, 15 assists. But in terms of contributions, fairly minimal. And what he's going to require, I don't know, what's he on at City? Probably 400k, 350, something like that.
Yeah, about 350. Yeah.
If you have a player like Dom, who is the Duracell bunny, who can't play in our system, how the hell is KDB going to do it? I don't understand that. But what's your thoughts?
Spot on, because for me, the way our midfield, we need fast guys. We need like Genie Wijnaldum's in there. You know what I mean? Guys are going to non-stop running, get stuck in. Kevin De Bruyne ain't going to do that. No spot to like. Even though Kevin De Bruyne played really good against Palace, midfielders nowadays need to be very tough and very flexible. And I don't think certain midfielders like Kevin De Bruyne right now, age-wise, nah, I'm going to take him. Even though it would be like if he came to Liverpool before he went to City, top, but never happened.
Do you know what? I think what a lot of it is, it's the first date syndrome. So you go out and everything's perfect, and you think, yeah, this person is going to be perfect for you. And that Palace game, which it's probably going to take KDB 6 months to get over, um,
Hmm.
maybe longer. He's probably got Dom's wife giving him a rub down right now. It's just people judge the person's potential based on that. And you just see that. So we're seeing it with Ibu. It's the same thing. Obviously, Ibu showed it for a lot longer. In terms of KDB, for me, the last season and a half has been a write-off. But you can't judge a player based on that and then harp back to, well, he's won everything. I mean, what has that got to do with anything? He doesn't win everything. The team wins everything. Number one. He's been a big part in it. I get that, but do we really want a aging player that can't bloody tackle? And he's a luxury player. We've been down the how many players have we had like that, from Littman to Morientes to Thiago? Hopefully not Chiesa, but who knows? We've just had too many players like that, and we just get another one that's arguably, well, certainly one of the best in the Premier League in his position. But that's then we want somebody that's going to be dynamic and have some kind of future. And to me, he's just going to take up space for somebody else that could come in. But apparently, I was in the wrong. So we should get KDB. What do you reckon, Lee?
It's interesting what the makeup of the midfield will be eventually. I like McAllister in the 10. I think if we had a defensive midfielder, maybe Gravenberch was playing where McAllister is now, and McAllister moved where Szoboszlai is. I like that. The idea of that maybe as a midfield, but we just don't know what he's thinking in the summer slot.
I think Maka would be a perfect 10, but who's our 8?
Be Gravenberch then, and move well, not move, put a new sign in a defensive midfielder at the base of it. Perhaps would be, we'd still have Szoboszlai, he'd still play in the 10 when he wants to play him, but he wouldn't have to play all the time. Doesn't seem like he's got that much faith in Harvey minutes wise, because we just haven't seen that much of him. I mean, he's used them, but he's used them sparingly, hasn't he? So it's interesting to moot what is going to happen next season, the midfield jigsaw, how he sees it. Does he want to stick with what's won in the league here this season, or does he want to twist and try and improve it? Or adapt it, tinker with it, whatever words you want to use. It'd be interesting to see which way he goes in the summer. But we definitely need midfield bodies, don't we? We need midfield options coming in. I mean, I'm still a fan of Bajcetic. I like Bajcetic. I liked him when he come in under Klopp, and he was good. But he might need more than this season's loan. They might want him to stay out on loan for a bit longer, but they might also bring him back because that would give us a midfield option if Slot believed in him. That is, because you never know. You don't know what Slot thinks of anyone, really. But we do need a couple of new bodies in midfield, definitely, for next season to be able to put on a good title defence against the no doubt reinvigorated Man City, which will have money spent on the squad in the summer. Arsenal will go at it again in the transfer market. Chelsea will go at it again in the transfer market. So we're going to have to make quite a few changes to keep where we are. to stay where we are next season.
So maybe we should look at Ipswich and Leicester and Southampton. Let's do what everyone else does. See what we can raid from them. Let's do some poaching. Any talent? Any talent there? You see?
Dibling's all right for Southampton. Quite good on the ball.
Not 100 million.
Ball.
Mhm.
Leicester. No, there's not really anyone there. There's no one I bring into the Liverpool squad. Ipswich, possibly Zillah, maybe for Zillah, but he'd be the only one out of the Ipswich side. Then you get above that, and it's Wolves, isn't it, in the next place up? And Cunha's definitely one I like. Cunha's one I've been watching for a while now, like as everybody else. Like we can see, he's got a good finish in either foot. He can score a number of different types of goals. He's a dangerous player, says Cunha. And, I'd definitely like to see him at Anfield.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, he reminds me of what old Neto was like. It's gone a bit downhill since his move, but he had a number of injuries, didn't he? And that put his transfer on hold for a bit. I was surprised he actually did move, but I know we were interested in Neto, weren't we?
Top player.
Yeah, quality player.
Quality. Wasted at Chelsea for me.
Oh, he is. He is.
Wasted. He would have been great for us.
Yeah.
I reckon. I'd rather have him than Szoboszlai in that position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, they brought some good players into the Premier League, Wolves, since they've been back, since they come back up, like when Nuno was there, like originally. They brought some really good players into the Premier League, number of them. And Cunha's another one. He's already capped, isn't he, for Brazil?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a quality player. How much reckon he'd go for?
I think
50.
the price is about 60 million. I think Brian said the release clause is about 60 million.
60 million.
Man United are meant to be after him. Mm-hmm.
I'm so pleased United have found their new Karius, though. I'm really pleased. But they're sport for choice, though, aren't they?
Well, terrible team. Terrible. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. Like for me, Albon's coming.
Interesting. United are also interested in Cunha. Hopefully they're interested in nothing to him if we came in for him. Like, but obviously he'd go there if we're not in for him, like, and we're in for someone else, and he probably will move to Man United. It'd be a good move for him if he ain't coming here.
We'll get better wages. But for me, any agent who sends his player to United or Chelsea doesn't give a damn about his player.
There's the whole thing with Casado, wasn't there? Like, he's got offered more money, didn't he? Like, but it hasn't worked out for him, has it?
No. Do you reckon old Bruno is happy at United?
Nah.
Probably not. He doesn't look it, but he always looks miserable, doesn't he? He's got one of them gobs. But he is a good player. For them, like.
Yeah, he is good.
Really good player. I think he spoils his talent sometimes with his histrionics, his wild gesticulating and moaning at the ref and all this business. Like, I think he spoils his talent sometimes with that crap. Ditto with Richarlison, they take it too far sometimes. Like, and get too entangled in the ongoing thing with decisions within the match, you know, instead of just clearing the egg and getting on with the game. I think that can be a problem occasionally with Fernandes. But he is a smashing player,
Yeah, I think the team really with the talent that we need is Newcastle. So, but if they don't get Champions League football, that's the only option I can see of some of their Guimaraes and Isaac and well, who else would we take from there? I don't want to steal all their players, but they do have a great midfield. But
Mm-hmm.
if they get Champions League, I can't see that happening.
Yep. For me, Isaac will stay, or the fans will pressure him to stay. Bruno loves playing for Newcastle. Look at the way he celebrates. He kisses the badge and does everything.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, he's a big fan of him. Fair play to him. He ain't like looking at, I want to move now. So that's a good thing. It shows a bit of loyalty in that way. But I think if they get Champions League, Newcastle, they're going to really be selling anyone.
Yeah.
Recruit, yeah. I don't think Isaac will leave. I think if Isaac really wants to go, he couldn't score any more goals for him this season. Because they get top four, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. So as long as United don't get through, I mean, they probably will, but I can't see them winning the Europa. I really can't.
Hope not. The fact that they've got this far is pretty notable for them because they've had a really bad season.
I think it would be their worst season in terms of points in the Premier League.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Pleasing to hear.
absolutely.
I mean, he only coming halfway through the guy, didn't he? Like, but it has been a piss poor season by their standards, Premier League wise. And you don't see that much that's good in their side, do you? I mean, I did used to like Casemiro, the old Casemiro, but he's not that Casemiro anymore. He's the United Casemiro, isn't he? Yoro looks a decent enough player. Martinez is okay. Losandro. They've got De Ligt now. It remains to be seen if he works out. Yeah, I don't really see that good a team. He's going to have to. He's going to have to shake it up quite a bit in the summer, isn't he? He's going to have to bring a few new guys in, like.
Well, Hoyland up front is a joke.
God, how much was he? 70 million? Something
Yeah.
ridiculous like that. 70 million for that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, huh? He makes Nunes sound like a bargain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was him. Anthony was another one who was mega expensive, wasn't he?
Where did he go to? Because apparently he's doing outstanding now. Did he go to? Was it Inter?
I think I heard it was to Sevilla.
Sevilla.
So good luck to him anyway. I mean, Jadon Sancho is on in that position as well. You know, in the forward positions, it was absolute waste of money for them. Rasmus, Anthony, terrible.
yeah. That's the team he's on to, Las Palmas in Spain.
Las Palmas, right.
Yeah, they just wasted loads of money, Man United. They ain't got a bloody clue. This squad could do a better job than their recruitment.
I think Canary Islands, isn't it? I think I've been there on a plane once as a stop, so going somewhere. Yeah.
So I'll just quickly read out these comments and then we'll wrap up the show. Abdul, thank you for criticising breakdown analysis and review on Canati Sabots by Robertson, Diaz, Jota and Darwin. Some sections of the LFC community don't talk about certain players in the squad. I think during the season, I'm not a big fan of it, but when the season's ending and you know you've wrapped up the league or whatever, then it's okay. But for me, I don't like fans who are always moaning. You got to enjoy the game. We won the Premier League this season, but now's the time where you can sort of get involved in them sort of chats. You know, season's done now. 6 games, is it left?
Bloody hell, 13 points clear. Yeah, I think now is the time.
You know what I mean? About time. And Abdul says KDB's transfer to either Saudi Arabia or United States. I think United States. And Brian thinks that as well. A move to one of these destinations would be advantageous for him at this stage of his career, given his age 33 and recent injury records. Yeah, he's on a honeymoon period now, like chilling the rent. What's that? What's the one? It's gonna be. I know the word in German. In English, retired. That's the word. Well, I knew it in German, but no, in English, bro, crazy.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Isn't
he's in,
isn't Beckham trying to bring him to into Miami?
Yeah, he is.
probably.
But I don't know. I don't know how that works because I know with the MLS, I know they can have. Is it free? Is it 3 or 4 overseas players? So I don't know how that work in terms of him bringing KDB, but we'll see what happens. I think maybe they have to get rid of someone again.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think that may be the best move for him. Although it's not a great place to be right now, but I guess he mixes in slightly different circles, or would do, than I do. So different clientele. Let's put it that way.
Mhm. No, but for me, I think he'll go to the States. Yeah,
Mm.
he's getting paid good. He's got enough money. He don't really need to do anything anymore. So whatever he decides he wants to live the next few years to sort of
Yeah, a lot of
semi-retire.
players like
You
to
know what I
try
mean?
it, don't they? At this stage of their career, like a lot of players have gone out there, haven't they? So yeah, could well happen. Or he could go the other way. Could go to Saudi, couldn't
Yeah, Ronaldo seems happy out there.
he? Mm-hmm.
Treat him like a
Yeah.
god. Treat him like a
Still
god.
can't win the league though.
Has he not won the league now?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
What's happened to Neymar? Anyone know?
Yeah. He's back at Santos until the end of the season.
Okay. How old is he now? You know?
33, I think it should be now.
Okay. I don't think he lived up to his potential. I think he was good, and then he just lost it. Weird, weird. Him and Ronaldo have the same birthday as well. It's a mad one.
What KTB and Ronaldo have the same birthday?
And I read it, Ronaldo and Neymar.
Neymar.
Ah, right. Ronaldo and Neymar. Okay.
Yeah, for me, Neymar.
When is the date?
5th of February.
5th of Feb. So he's Pisces, is it? Oh,
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Ah, right.
Yeah, my wife's her birthday's on the 5th as well, February. So she's got the same birthday as them.
A water
Top
sign.
footballer.
Hmm.
Top footballer. Yeah. What's your future? What do you think? What do you want to see for the rest of the season now, Dara?
What would I like to see? Well, first and foremost, let's get VVD's contract sorted. And I want us to start working out transfers now. Obviously, we need those 6 points, or depending on the Arsenal results. But I'm not concerned about 90 points. I'm not concerned about that once it's done. If it takes 83 points and Arsenal finish on it at 82, it's, the same meat, different gravy. I just want to see rotation now. That's what I want to see. I want to just see different players come in and let's see what they can do, because it's going to be different when it's not preseason. Let's see what they can do now, because it's going to have more meaning for them. That's what I want to see.
Spot on. Levante?
Yeah, let's just get the 2 more wins, whatever, just seal the league and just celebrate the 20th. And we'll be there in May. And hopefully we can have a better performance. I mean, you got Leicester, but knowing us will make hard work of it because we're Liverpool FC. We don't do things easily. So, yeah.
Sorted, and Lee?
Yeah, just hope we get a good performance now at against Leicester. We've played West Ham, yeah, against Leicester to follow this up, and then that'll leave us just needing the 3 points to wrap it all up. That'd be great.
The quicker the better for me. And the
Mm.
bigger the point gap between us and second, the better as well. I don't want to be just finishing a point ahead of them. It's just like, nah, man. With this gap we've got, I want to finish with like 15, 16 point gap between us and second. Beautiful. That means we really smashed it, you know what I mean? Sorry, guys. Do you want to say anything before we leave, guys?
Just thanks for letting me on, and shame you couldn't get anybody else to come on, but it's just a matter of time. Nobody's going to bite here.
Yeah. We've got the usual suspects, me, Lee, and Nalante. And
Good film that was. That was a good film.
mhm.
Oh yeah, great film.
Great. And Lee, do you want to say anything before we leave, bro?
Just cheers, cheers for everyone in the chat who's been in the chat, who was here and has gone, whatever. Thanks for having us on. Cheers.
Sorted. And Nalante.
Yeah, big up to Abdul, whoever's watching, big yourself up, and obviously listen to Dara, and then yeah, like Dara said, echoed everything he said before about coming on, and yeah, we move 3 points and we go again.
Sorted,
All
bro.
right.
Thanks. Mhm.
Get
Go on,
get
Dara.
some rest.
Well, we've done
It's
some shows today.
it's late where you are.
It's late now, but it's cool.
Indeed.
Thanks for coming on, guys, setting up the show and everything. Lee, Dara, and Nalante as well, bro. We'll catch each other on the shows coming up in the next few days. Enjoy the time. We're gonna win the league. Good night, guys, in the chat. Bless up everyone, Abdul, everyone in the chat, man.
Good night.
All right, lads.